All right. And we are live. Welcome to the Iron Lords podcast and the Lords of Gaming.net, episode number 119. And it's another glorious Sunday. We're back at the round table on the Lord's Day. I'm very excited about our special guest. And we've got Switch JoyCon Drift, Fire Emblem Game of the Year, Wolfenstein Youngblood, Phil Spencer Fortune interview, and Naughty Dog Studio Crunch to discuss. So we gonna get right into it.
Did you notice how extra he said that Game of the Year?
Oh my God. Let's get into it. I want to introduce a Lord whose content I came across through fellow friend to the realm, Lord Stealth 40K. Not only is this Lord one of the most passionate Nintendo content creators in the realm, but his infectious humor, heartfelt videos, and high-quality editorials truly stand out in everything he does. Introducing the creator and host of the Nintendo Guru YouTube channel, website, and community manager for Atui Games LLC. Formerly known to the realm as the Geek Guru, this Lord has ascended to the Guru of Nintendo and always keeps it real with a "if Grandpa Nintendo is acting up." Live from Jersey and making his debut into the realm of the Lords, my man, Lord Bobby, a.k.a. the Nintendo Guru. How you doing, sir?
Dude, okay, listen. I know you guys watched WWE back in the day. You had to, right? And you know The Rock, right? The Rock, when he would come out, you're like, I got goosebumps, right?
Yeah.
Like the election. Dude, I got goosebumps right now from that introduction.
Yeah.
I've never in my life. I'm getting ready to walk out the door. I think there's somebody else walking in here. Oh, my God. Thank you so much, man. Guys, man, it is an honor. Seriously. Cognito reached out to me a few weeks ago and was like, hey, can we do something? I was like, yeah, we can do something. And then like 6 months later, he's like, hey, we're ready for you now.
It just got a little crazy. I'm
just teasing. No, man, seriously, thank you for the invite, man. I appreciate it.
Much love, man. Huge fan of what you do, man. You are Lord in your realm, so it's only right we show you the proper respect here at the round table.
Thank you.
Big fan, man. We're going to have some fun today. We got the Guru in the building. I'm happy.
The Meebos. You know me and him in the same space.
I'm waiting for you to invite me up. I'm coming up. We're gonna just play with Amiibo all day.
Hey, listen, that video will not get out. All right,
okay, that's fine.
Weirdo. With Amiibo's video out, you want that?
What happens in New York stays in New York.
Exactly. There you
go. Okay.
And you already know we have the four horsemen of gaming, those original lords at the realm, here at the round table. My co-host with the co-most, my brother from another mother, the difficult game conqueror, and the how of the young wolf. My man, Lord Addict, how you doing, sir?
Doing pretty good. I want to point out that I was 30 minutes early. None of this king going on this rampage. It's just recently Addict's been on time.
Whoa. I didn't say anything about you.
King has been defending you. That would be me that was ripping you new one.
I need you both to calm yourself.
I do need an apology from your side of the early table. Thank you.
The early table.
Yeah, you gonna be all early. You want to have your breakfast and all early in the face? No. I'm getting my extra 20 minutes of sleep. I'm so sorry.
Oh, y'all gonna hate when football season returns.
Boy,
Jesus.
Oh, it's coming.
I might have to take a couple months.
Here's the question. You say you were here early, but you got no cam. We don't know. You could have just turned it on and walked away. And you weren't here.
All that matters is
he was playing Fire Emblem. He was there playing Fire Emblem.
Okay.
All that matters is I was here.
I checked in, right? I punched my clock. There it is. Boom.
Dude, exactly how I do work. Check in and leave.
Oh, man.
Wow.
So, Addict, are you alive this week, or are you out of danger?
I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, we missed you, man. The realm was concerned, man. Are you feeling a little better?
Yeah, I saw you guys were letting King go off last week. No one checked him about anything. But I'm disappointed in you guys. See, I would have been there right with them, but
I was about to say I thought we was in lockstep with that.
We might not be this week, but we will be next week. We'll be there with the Switch game hate next week. So, I can't be there this week.
Yeah, you're on the side of good. I've heard
I wouldn't say
the Switch a lot due to a certain game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know he blazing. That's
it's a topic. I'm not talking about it now.
We're gonna say that. And of course, we have our most technical gaming lord, the solo gamer who lives for the single player selfish experience, and also the Sastradamus, Mr. Offline Profile Illuminati, and Lord Patreon of the Iron Bank, my man, Lord Sovereign. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. It's one of those days when you're just pulling yourself out from under the table. You know,
it was a struggle to get
out. Yeah, this week was crazy, man. Like I expected to be off a good part of the week, and that didn't happen. And then occupational hazard. I got a little bit injured, and I have a scratched cornea, so I'm looking like Big Boss right now. You know,
you got that Band-Aid on that eye.
What he not saying is he was on that switch. Someone beeped the horn at him.
Poke the JoyCon drifted into his eye.
It drifted right into my eye.
I expect a class action lawsuit from you.
Yeah, for sure. I signed up already. That's for sure.
What's been going on, besides physical ailments? To play anything?
Yeah, I'm a little bit just yesterday and a little bit this morning. Some of that Wolfenstein Youngblood. We'll talk about that in a little bit, and of course, Fire Emblem. So I got the two big releases. I'm feeling these Friday releases, man. No more of this Tuesday stuff. I love Friday releases.
Big fan.
That's it's meant to be.
You guys know damn well that this doesn't happen often. You guys here acting like we celebrate like the 30th game releasing on Friday. You know, the next game coming out on Tuesday on the dot.
But Nintendo's been good about the Fridays. That's their day. Even Sunday, like weirdly, like Sunday's stupid, but whatever.
I would not know the release date, sir.
Oh my Lord. Anywho. And of course, we have the Incredible Hulk of this, aka the Excess Gamer.
Ooh.
The Lord of Combat Sports, King of the Statues, who demands nothing less than that premium experience. It is the leader of the Fraud Alert movement.
Ooh.
Beloved Lord King. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing incredible this week. All right, guys. So update on I'm putting a collage video together for the dearly departed Sir Benjamin Johnson, who left us in February. And I took Lord Hot Monkey's advice, and I got a little mature dog. She's 2 years old. Her name is the Baroness. That's her official moniker, Mimi Cream Johnson. So she's a Frenchie, of course, and she's 2 years old. She's the same age that Benjamin would have been at this junction in his life. He was 1 month earlier than her. He was born in June, and she was born in July. And I came across her story. I saw her story, and I don't know. I bonded through the pictures and through reading the story. So I decided to go see her, saw her, spoke to the lady about her because she was available for sale. And I decided to, take a chance. And it's been working out pretty much. She's pretty much premium. She wants this really special food that I purchased her. That's really I already got it started. I went and got her harness because she was sharing a harness in an apartment with 4 to 5 dogs.
Oh, wow.
And she needed the attention and that love. So now she's just how I would sleep on the couch and with my feet up watching TV, and Benjamin would be right there. She just like jumped in right into pocket.
Wow.
So, yeah. So
salute, brother. I know it's been a journey for you. It's been
right.
To chat giving love. Shout out to Johan Zell. He said rest in peace, obviously, Benjamin. But this is a new beginning for you, and we're glad you did it, man. We're glad you did it.
The pictures will be up on lordsofgaming.net and Iron Lords podcast on Instagram. Everything is gonna go up. I'm just trying to get everything. I thought she would be down here now, but they're walking her right now.
Oh, okay. No doubt. Any games you've been playing, sir? Just been all busy with
everything. Destiny.
Woo!
Yo, so Iron Banner came out, right? And you know how I'm an Iron Banner junkie, right? Oh, wait, whoa! I have to call a fraud alert on Microsoft.
Fraud alert's out. Let's get it.
On Microsoft. What?
Fraud alert already.
All right. So they gave us the Game Pass Ultimate, right? So I'm thinking, we all in. I still get the games with gold,
right? So
games with gold popped up. And it was this is what I do. I'm one of those little dudes that the games come up. I don't care if I want it or not. I make sure I get it, download it, and
before the month over. Okay, I got you.
I touch it later whenever I choose. It's mine. It's free.
Yes.
Well, lo and behold,
what happened?
It's not yours anymore. Games with Gold don't apply to you if you have Games Ultimate.
Really?
So this is how I
download it.
Listen, and let me download it too. Check your credit card now.
wait. So what happened?
Check your credit card now. So I'm looking at my email. Microsoft says thank you for your purchase. $14.95.
Oh no!
I said, what the hell? Who the hell is? I'm thinking one of my kids don't went crazy.
These kids got loose.
I looked at the game. It was the game I just downloaded. I said, boy. Oh no, we got to refund this. This was a mistake. Something's going on there. So I go in to look at my subscriptions.
Yes.
And Games with Gold is done.
But wait a minute. Is it? Hold on,
it's all rolled into one. It's all rolled into one.
Yeah, I have no problem.
I think you might have accidentally clicked the button to pay for it rather than just download it.
Gold is rolled into Ultimate.
I'm going to tell you something right now. I did the same thing I normally do. Now I am afraid.
I feel like if you did the same thing you normally do, we wouldn't have this conversation.
But no, this is what I'm trying to tell you. I had a shock in my email, and the shock in my email was $14.95 that I choose not to pay for this game. Like, I don't even think this game is $14.95. I can go over to Switch game store and purchase a better game for $14.95.
What game was it again? What game was it?
I have no idea, really, to be honest with you. Like I told you before, it was the worst. Whatever that worst game is,
the worst game
for the game of Gold. Because right now they have actually defecated on all Games of Gold.
Yeah, because Game Pass quality is much better.
Right. All the good stuff go to Game Pass. You Games with Gold dudes get butt kiss. You get the wax.
Now it's like I think this month is like Meet the Robinsons or something else.
Yes. Yeah. So I was highly upset.
I think maybe it's a possibility. Something with your account, your subscription, as far as like the Ultimate, maybe it didn't roll over. Or you didn't,
right? Are you absolutely sure the Ultimate is?
You better make sure your Ultimate is yet enabled,
engaged, right?
Because what happens is Ultimate is supposed to cancel out the old Game Pass, and then it's a transition.
You have to manually do that.
I manually did it. Listen, I got Ultimate Game Pass all the way up to 2026, something like that, some wild number. And I looked at it. I said, "Wow, it." Canceled the joint up because I looked, it was 1, 2, and then the third one was Games with Gold. And it was like, nah.
Okay, yo, EJ, shout out to EJ boy. He said he downloaded Meet the Robinson. He gonna check his account now.
Yeah,
salute to EJ boy for being petty as well.
You better.
I mean, let's be fair though. Like the Microsoft store is so. It's trash, man. Like it's so hard to find stuff. Everything's all over the place.
You can find your credit card file.
Lord Saul, we have a super chat that you need to address.
Shout out to Dizzy81 with a $5 super chat. On January 6, 1994, a famous knee was sought out and taken. Let this be a lesson to those who owe knees to others.
Yo, he's on King's leg head for that.
What the hell is January 6, 1994?
I Dizzy81. I don't know who you are, but I think you're onto something, sir.
Oh my God, he just stole my catchphrase.
Dizzy. He is continually petty for when Saul to lose that bet to Saul. And then
Dizzy, when you and Saul knees is in that box on the side, I swear I want you to have the same enthusiasm handing your knees over the same way you handing over your bread. All right, I want those knees the same way.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Of course, we have the Lord of the Cooperative Experience and Gaming Ninja himself, the Shinobi, LordCognito, spreading that realness in the realm of the ILP, not telling you what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. Shout out to my man Mark Smooth for copying his Nintendo Switch. He's in the building. He got his Marvel Ultimate Alliance on. Shout out to Requeno for having the patience in the world to try to set this thing up. To get online play on. Here come Attic. Hey, come on,
Lord King, don't you feel like every time someone buys a Switch, this man want to act like someone just put one in the Like he wants I'm really thinking this is a giant conspiracy. And LordCognito gonna ask these men to drink Kool-Aid. Like, what's going on here?
Why are you asking King? You know King is all knee deep in the Xbox Kool-Aid. So you don't ask him
because he's my ally.
Wow. Okay, wait a second. First of all,
here we go.
Xbox Kool-Aid. Okay, probably. Fair enough. I drank the juice. But if it's a good game, yeah, it's okay, man. But don't sit here and act like when somebody buys a Switch, they get a red bandana. They have to run through the streets. Everybody get a cake.
We see me and Bobby got our red on.
Listen. All the haters thought that the Switch was done before it launched, and now it's killing. What do you want?
Let's go.
Listen,
these are all the people that were going, Nintendo's going to be third party. They're no longer going to be making games. They're going to be making games for Microsoft and for Sony. And now
what?
Now it looks like Xbox is making games for Nintendo.
Yeah,
That's all I know.
Guru on God. When I touched the Switch, I had it in my hand. I knew exactly what it was going to do.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be as big as it's going to be. Yeah. But that standstill Switch that's in the box, that's DOA. That's not a Switch Lite. That's not a Switch Mini. That's a standstill, brother. It don't do nothing else. Play game.
No doubt, man. But it's one of those things, like I said, Lord walk smooth. You know what I'm saying? We used to play Ultimate Alliance back, and that's actually one of the first games that got him into gaming. You know what I'm saying? So being him cooperative. So when it's been over 10 years or whatever it is since the franchise has been gone. So we got a chance to set it up and get it going. But I must admit, getting the online set up with Nintendo's infrastructure, we just gave up and used Xbox Live. We just gave up. We're going to use Xbox Live to talk. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be able
to try to from the
start.
Well, yeah, we don't even get it. Shout out to Requeno for acting.
Oh, wait a second. We not just gonna gloss over that. We just not gonna look at that and just walk around.
TMI, Cognito. That was TMI.
Okay, so now that you had to look at Big Brother to get your talk on, to get your what stuff that we take for granted, stuff that's regular, like, oh my God, my cell phone can actually dial numbers, right?
King. Your cell phone has a Facebook app. Go
figure. Oh, what did you do?
King, we got blue.
We got blue.
Hold on.
Look how they derailed the conversation.
We gotta get him off that. Exactly. King, super chat, get it.
I'm gonna get that. Hold on 1 second. I just want to hear. What did you do again when you couldn't connect regularly? What happened again? What did you do?
And we went with the superior online infrastructure of the Xbox Live, so we can enjoy the Switch the way we wanted to enjoy Marvel Alliance. Go on.
For you.
Of course, Xbox Live, baby. We
go. Same name. Who did that for you?
You out of control. I am not going to say Phil Spencer did that for me.
I was talking about. There we go, baby. Hey,
yes, sir.
All right, here's showing the love. Here's showing the Lord's support. The Emperor is here. My man, Ray.
Salute the Ray World, man, in the building. But yeah, that's been pretty much it. And of course, that Fire Emblems, you know what I'm saying? Cop that. And we'll get into that when that topic comes out. And of course, still been rocking Destiny. But all that good stuff over with. We got into what the Lords were playing. I want to start with Lord Nintendo Guru. His video game system history, his journey as a content creator, and of course, what led him to becoming a community manager for a game studio. So, Lord Bobby, let's start from the very beginning. What were some of the first video game systems you had? What got you into gaming?
I mean, listen, I grew up, my grandparents owned a bar, and I started playing Donkey Kong in the arcade cabinet they had. And then not long after that, my parents brought home an Atari 2600. Started playing that. I had a boatload of games, and then the NES hits, and I had to beg my mom forever to get me one. My cousins all got one. She wouldn't get it for us. And then finally, she's, me and my brother got good grades in school, which was a miracle in its own right. And so she said, listen, we'll get you one. But it took us, man, like 6-7 months after she agreed to get us one, because they were just sold out. You couldn't get them anywhere. And then
now, which one did you get? Which one did you get? Did you get the classic or did you get the ROM?
I got the Zapper, the Duck Hunt. I think it was the action set they called it.
Yes.
It had Mario and Duck Hunt in it. Rob wasn't really because when we went to the store, I convinced my little brother to get Mike Tyson's Punch Out, and I got Zelda. We went home that day, and I felt like I had the holy grail of of greatness, because I don't care. Like, to me, I'm sitting here right now with a coaster on my thing, Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Like, this is to me the best game in video game history. To me, that's that. I mean, you guys all grew up. You know the aura of Mike Tyson, and everybody wanted to beat Tyson back then, and to just get to him, was one thing.
Yes.
Until somebody found out the code.
The code,
007-373-5963. I got it right here. I can't remember my mom's birthday, but I remember that. You know what I mean?
Hold on, one quick second. Shout out to the Brat Basement Radio Arcade, $2. Bad love to the ILP. Have a great show, guys. Thank you so much, sir. Continue. I want to hear more Punch Out talk. You're taking me back, man. I
mean, so for me, I literally treated it like I was training to fight Mike Tyson. Right, so legit, it took me, I would say I went a heavy 9 months. Every single day, I come home from school and I go in, I keep putting the code in, playing, losing. Finally, I beat him, right? And I knock him out, or I'm sorry, I didn't knock him out. I beat him by decision, and I'm losing my mind. And I turn around and I'm like, there's nobody here to see that I did it. I'm like, and we don't have like cell phones. I can take a picture of the screen, or like to take a picture of a CRT TV back in the day. Like, you had to have the lights dim and the camera. Like, I'm screwed, right? So I grab I get up, I run out the door, I run down the street to my cousin's house. Right, I'm running down the street, knock on the door. My aunt answers the door. I'm like, you gotta let me in. I just beat Mike Tyson. And she's like, what? And I'm like, just let me in the door. Let me in the door, right? So my cousins and my brother, they're all in the back room. They're playing. I come in, I go, guys, I just beat Mike Tyson. Just beat Mike Tyson. Woo! And they're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, I swear to God, I beat him. They're like, do it now.
Oh.
Okay? So I start going, right? And I'm struggling. Lose the first one. Lose the second one. Then I get into a rhythm. Right. And I beat him. But I beat him by decision, right? Now, I'm a heavy, my family grew up around boxing. My grandfather my grandfather used to spar in the Bronx when he was younger.
He sparred in Fort Apache. Where was that?
He sparred. I don't know what gym it was. I know that he Jake LaMotta used to always try to spar with him, and he said he wouldn't do it. He refused to spar with Jake LaMotta. My uncle used to spar at Rocky Marciano.
Wow.
They both were Golden Gloves boxers in the Marines, and so when they came out, they kind of went to the gyms. They didn't really do. I mean, they didn't do much back then. So my uncle comes walking in the room right after everybody's flipping out because I just beat Tyson. And my uncle looks at the screen. And he's like,
"But you did not come out.
You beat him, but thank you.
No, in your face and said, but you did knock him out."
He's like, you can't be the champion by decision. You gotta knock him out." And I'm like,
I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, I go restart the game. Oh, and I get on there, and dude, I am hammering him like never before.
Right.
He don't touch me. The first minute and 30, he's throwing uppercuts. I'm hitting him every single time.
Dodge game on fleek.
Put him down. TKO him. You'd have thought I beat the real Mike Tyson. Everybody's flipping out. My uncle's flipping out. Now I go to school the next day. Sitting at the cafeteria around a lunch table. I tell my boys, no, you didn't. You're lying. You didn't beat Mike Tyson. I had 10 people show up in my house after school to show that I could do it. Dude, I had the room full. I'm not allowed to have nobody in the house after school. My parents aren't home. I'm scared to death my dad's going to come driving up any second. It's the longest 3 minutes of my life that I'm playing.
You get the pressure.
I beat him. Everybody's flipping out in the bedroom. I'm like, get out. Everybody get out of the house.
Yeah, I did it. Then get out because full pops come out.
Greatest time ever. So,
yo,
you was a superstar after that.
for that short period of time, for about 3 months, and then everybody's like, "You're a nerd." Just get out of here.
Hold on, let me get you the super chat real quick. What's going on? What it do, Lords?
Our guy, Cedric H. Salute.
You might be on to something right there. With
It's too early. It's too early. You gotta get into it.
How you doing today?
Yo, that is a tremendous Nintendo story as far as our Punch Out, man. So, my question to you is from the NES. We know the NES is such a classic system. Yeah. Did you always stay in line with Nintendo from that point on? Was there ever a deviation? Was there ever a time Sega or Turbo may have tempted you to get a system, a secondary system?
I did. Okay, so what happened for me was I had the Super Nintendo, loved the Super Nintendo, and then because sports games were so much better on Genesis. I bought a Genesis because I wanted to play. I wanted to play Madden better. I wanted to play Joe Montana football, the NHL games.
Which NHL? Okay, I got to get at you. Which one? With 93, 94, the one with the blood, the one with the name. Which one?
I don't know which one it was. I couldn't tell you.
It's a classic debate, man.
Because for me, back in those days, like Bulls versus Lakers, Bulls versus Trailblazers, those were the games.
Bro, Lakers versus Celtics.
No, come on, no.
Bro, with the cardboard box,
Michael Jordan coming down the middle, doing the classic or the pump, and then through the. No, come on, nothing was better than that.
All agree at that point in time, anything that EA put out was legit.
Was amazing.
Anything they put out was legit.
Amazing.
And then of course, it's sports talk, football, sports talk, baseball.
Yeah. They were way ahead. So for me, at least for me, Sega was excelling in the sports, but as far as like Sonic and all that other trash, I didn't care about that. Wow. Listen, don't get mad because it's a bad game.
Listen, I looked up at Sonic right there and I said, "That's the dude that gave you a run for your money." That's
no. Yeah. Here's the tale. Here's the tale of Sonic. When you play Super Mario Brothers, the first one, Miyamoto sets it up to teach you how to play that game throughout the whole thing. So you jump in Sonic. And you're going, I got to go fast. I got to run 100 miles an hour. And you zip through World 1-1 or whatever you want to call that nonsense that they do.
Oh, my God.
And then what happens? You're thinking the rest of the game, you got to fly 100 miles an hour. Hold up. I got to stop talking. You got a crazy super chat.
Oh, yeah. Sonaldo P. You guys are amazing. Keep up the good work. Welcome, Nintendo Guru. Switch Love, Cog, Addict, King, and Saul. Dizzy, hope you're having a terrible time at your convention in QuakeCon. Stream team, that's our dude. PD, salute, brother. Oh, thank you so much for us. One of the writers on LordsGame.net, leader of the stream team. Oh, man. Lord Sonaldo, thank you so much, brother. Much appreciated, man.
Amazing.
Continue with this Genesis slander.
But yo, little plumber was moving too slow for those pictures on the screen. Blast master process.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
We're gonna get some fanboy content from back in the day. Let's get it.
One of the greatest boxers, Sugar Ray Leonard, all these guys, right? They stand the test of time. They continue forever.
Yes.
They're considered the greatest, right? The greatest Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, Hagler. They're the greatest in that era, right? But yet you have nobody else coming up that does anything. So when you have Mario, which is the greatest of all time, and is still going today, I don't know, man. Like, when's the last good Sonic game?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you this, right? I'm gonna tell you, Nintendo as a company did a lot of smart moves, but what was more impactful, what left a serious impression on you was when Genesis hit their peak, when Sega hit their peak. When they hit their peak with that Dreamcast, when they hit their peak, because that was the best console I think to date made, period. Like as a whole, from the launch to what they gave you when you opened it up, it was the greatest console I've ever opened up, period. But when they put that foot on Nintendo's neck,
put the pressure
and said Genesis does, what Nintendo
Can't do this on Nintendo Genesis.
We don't get marketing like that no more.
Remember that, son? Yo, I ain't go front. Like, Sega, see, here's the thing. Let me give you real quick. I gotta jump in because Saga's getting some. We had some real emotional fanboy old school wars.
This is what it is.
This is good, right now. Here's the thing, Nintendo go like my friends.
Wow.
Oh wow! Shout out to Brap.
Wow, you got to, yo, Brap. I'm gonna read this for you, Brap. Sega like Duran.
No. Oh, damn, Brad. You can't listen, man. Listen. Here's the thing. When the NES came out, I like I said, I was an arcade guy. And I got the the Sega Master System because I was more in tune with the Sega classics in the arcade. But when the Nintendo came, I cannot front. When you guys had that Mike Tyson punch out, the jealousy in me that I didn't own that, right? So when now the 16-bit era starts, and Genesis comes out with that aggressive marketing. You got the Blast Master part, all this great. That was our time to talk.
Ultimate Beast rise from the grave.
We had the Sega games. We had the blood in the mortar. So that was our moment to finally get back at you guys.
But it didn't take long. But I feel like, honestly, this is the God's honest truth. I feel like that was probably the greatest time of gaming. Because you did have that aggressiveness.
Yes.
Like now you have all three companies working together. And don't get me wrong, I get we're in a new era and all that stuff, but I always enjoyed that like back and forth, that argument that, you know, when you sit around the lunch table and you're arguing with your boys, like what's the best and what's not. And like, so for me, it's always been this. And I love it. Like I like even the back and forth with King, I love it because I'm like, man, I feel like I'm 15 years old again.
See how our conversations is a little bit different, right?
Yeah.
Now it's turned to toxicity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, he said that he had a Nintendo and, you know, he got his games or whatever, and he brought a Genesis because it's sports games, right?
Yeah.
You got some guys now that will look over and see other games that they want to play and refuse to purchase another system out of some weird loyalty to something that doesn't exist.
Good point.
Right? And we can have these conversations because if I couldn't afford a system and he had a Genesis and I had a Nintendo, he was coming over my house.
One of the greatest stories we've always told on ILP is, like I said, during my Genesis and I'm feeling myself. And King, you know, during that time, he would get the Japanese imports. So he would get the Famicons, the Super Famicons before they would come to the States. So he's like, Cog, you got to come over. I got the Super Famicom, right? So I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, let's see what Nintendo doing. Guru, let me tell you right now, I saw F-Zero in Pilot Wings Mode 7 for the first time. I was like, my Genesis ain't doing that. I've never seen it. No, I sat there.
Damn near ran out of King's house.
You know what showed me on that Super Famicom? ActRaiser.
Oh, that game was amazing.
The sound chip in that game, you couldn't tell me it wasn't an orchestra inside my system.
Oh yeah,
that thing was amazing.
The sound chip was amazing. But like I said, Mode 7, in my opinion, changed the game, scaling that graphic. You know, it was just mind blowing because again, Genesis at that time was all about blast processing, side scroller kind of stuff. But what they were doing technologically was really, really next level. So that was the first time. Like,
I think. See, for me, what I think was so great about that era was Nintendo was fine with the NES. In their mind, they were like, we can keep going with the NES. And because, and let's be truthful here, the foot was on the throat because Nintendo wasn't moving up to 16-bit. And Sega was able to do things because of the fact of like, you're stuck with the NES and you can't progress.
And we saw the graphical differences, correct.
Yeah. So eventually when it got to that point where it was like, okay, we're going to now switch it up and we're going to actually do this stuff. It when they went to the Super Nintendo, man, they finally brought a system that was worthy. Because that's what I love about Nintendo. That Nintendo wasn't afraid of the arms race. This Nintendo won't get involved. They'll just basically, you know, they'll do what they can do. And don't get me wrong, I love the Switch. I love what it does. But man, it would be nice to see them just once go. Let's go. Let's ramp it up and let's show you what teraflops can really do. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. Like what they're capable of, what they're able to do with a little console like that.
Reach.
Could you imagine Breath of the Wild in 4K?
Oh, bro.
Like, dude, they would kill it. And that's the thing. Like they are able to, because they come from the era of the past. They are. You tell me how Smash is only like 15 gig, and you can't even put and there's companies that can't even put Doom on the whole thing on one cartridge.
No, you're right.
It's because they are the kings of compression, man.
Yes.
They know exactly what they're doing.
They do.
So, and that's because of the NES and the Super Nintendo. They had to.
It forced them into learning different techniques that other companies weren't able to.
And they even we gotta even address, like, before the CD era, they were kind of resistant all the way, for a while. I mean, they pretty much did, you know what I'm saying? And they were able to still survive, they were able to succeed and stuff like that. So so pretty much you stayed course all the way through.
I stayed course. I did get a PlayStation. The only thing that made me get a PlayStation was Final Fantasy VII.
There you go.
Because I was loving Final Fantasy on the Super Nintendo, and then when it broke my heart, man. It was like mom and dad got a divorce.
Yeah,
and Square went to Sony, and I was like, "This is not happening, man." And it did, and it happened. And I broke down and I bought the PlayStation. I remember filling out a card. They had these cards inserts asking you why you bought the console. And it was like, I bought it because of Final Fantasy VII. Wow, and that was the only reason. And I'm the type of guy that, like, I'll buy a console for one game.
Yes.
I don't care. I mean, I bought my PlayStation 4 for Arkham Knight. Like, I was like, I gotta have Arkham Knight. Like, I love Batman. I gotta have Arkham Knight.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that for me, that's the things that get me hyped up. Like, there are games. Like, I bought my PlayStation 3, for Last of Us. Like, that's the end of the console. But you know what?
Right.
And then I went back and bought a whole lot of other stuff and started playing a bunch of other stuff because I was done. Like I kind of gave up on gaming a little bit. Like right around the beginning of the PS3 and the GameCube, the end of the GameCube era, I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to mess with this stuff no more. Had to be an adult, kind of grow up and be, a respectable person, get a job, have kids and all that. And then I was like, nah, man,
So what got you back? I'm kidding. What was the game when you made that decision, a life decision? What got you all the way back in?
The crazy as it sounds, the Wii, dude. Seriously, I went to my brother's house. I didn't want the Wii. I was like, I'm not gonna sit here because they showed and they were talking about how Zelda you can like pull the sword out, and so I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that. At the time, I think I was like 30 years old. I'm like, or 35. I'm like, dude, no, man. Like, I just want to play a game. I don't want to be actually being Link. Like, no. And so I was like, I'm done. I'm out. And I went to my brother's house. He was in North Carolina, and he had some buddies over, and they brought the Wii. And I played Wii bowling and all that. And I was like, this is insane. Like, is this really happening? And then I went to go get it, and you couldn't get them. They were sold out.
Yo, remember how hard it was?
eBay, dude. I paid $500.
That was brilliant marketing.
Oh yeah,
brilliant strategy.
Those two Japanese guys going to people's house, knocking on the door. We would like to play. I was like, that is the coolest thing ever. Like, please show up at my house now. I need one. Come show up my house. But it was but that's what got me back. And then, man, I played Twilight Princess and Galaxy, and I was like, boom, I'm back. I'm back in a big bad way. And that was it. I never looked back after that moment.
Well, thank God you got back in because those amiibos would have missed you.
Woo! I got every single one. Every single one. I got a Box Boy one up there, still in the package. Japanese import. The thing's worth like $500 right now.
Chat is loving your setup. They say they love the lighting, everything. It's the setup.
Like if you move over a little bit, you can see he has the logo that's right behind his hat.
Oh,
yeah. I was trying to check it out. It says
do you guys? My question: do you guys like Splatoon?
I like.
I mean, we could change the lane to be Splatoon if you want.
We can do that.
Like Mario Maker's a good thing, right? We can go Mario Maker with the red and yellow, like whatever you guys want, we could do.
Right now, you see what he's doing right now?
No, you know what? I love that,
dude. It's amazing.
I love that. I love that. I love that.
Tremendous gaming history. Wow. Outstanding. So we're going to move on as far as like the community manager thing, man. You are now the community manager for a 2-week
games. Yeah.
Man. So what led to that tremendous opportunity? And tell us, for the people who are not familiar with the 2-week, like where their focus is.
So a 2-week is, they were formerly Renegade Kid. And that was a small independent company that did stuff on the 3DS, on the DS, on the Wii U. They basically started making these independent games. They did Mutant Mudds, Zeo Drifter, some really phenomenal games. Moon was another one. Dementium, which is another one, that was on the 3DS and or 2DS. They did some amazing things back then. And then Jules Watcham, who's the owner of Atui, and Greg, they were both partners on Renegade Kid. They decided to go their own ways.
Okay.
Jules basically was doing the 2D stuff.
Okay.
Greg was doing the 3D stuff like Dementium and all that. And they decided like, you take your toys, you go that way. You take your toys, you go that way. But they were still friends. Everything was respectful. It was respectful. And then I actually met Jules through Image and Form. I had become a SteamWorld ambassador. Oh, wow. Basically, I was, there was a contest I entered. If you guys watch any of the SteamWorld or not the engine room things that they do, they're kind of like their Nintendo Directs type things that they put out. That was my idea.
Oh wow!
That was how I won the contest to get into the SteamWorld ambassador thing. Nice. So what the ambassador program entitles me is every single game that launches from Image and Form, I get for free. Every console, I get three copies. Doesn't matter. So I give them out to who, my friends. I'll be like, hey, go try this game or whatever. And the idea is to do that, for me to go like, hey guys, this is a great game. Go check it out. Here you go. So
that's dope, man. Wow.
A few years ago, they were doing Nindies at Home. And it was a program that Nintendo was trying to do to get people up in checking out Nintendo stuff, Nindies games. And Image and Form was there and Jules Watcham was there. And I was like tweeting about seeing Brian from Image and Form. I was like, oh my God, dude, Brian's up there, blah, 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 doing my thing. And then a couple days later, Jules follows me. Oh. And I was like, wow, okay. Like I was the Geek Guru at the time. Yeah. And I'm like, I was that idiot. And I'm like,
I Geek Guru too.
So I sit there and I'm like, hey man, this is what we're doing, blah, blah, blah. And I reach out to Jules because he had said that he was like, if anybody's looking to review Mutant Mud Super Challenge, get ready to come out, let me know. And I'll, so I sent a tweet to him and I was like, hey man, I would love to review it. Yeah. And he reaches back and he's like, here you go. And I was like, wow, holy crap, dude. Like at the time I was still kind of small.
Right.
And then I said to him after I did the review, he liked the review a lot. He was like, man, you did, you put a lot of thought into it. You really showed a lot of stuff. You put some care into it. Thank you for that. And we just started talking. I was like, hey man, I got a podcast. Would you like to come on the podcast? He's like, absolutely. And he came on the podcast. Everything went well. And then I was like, hey, Jules, this time had gone by. I think he was getting ready to launch Chicken Wiggle not that long ago.
Chicken Wiggle.
And I said, hey man, I got a podcast called If We Ran Nintendo.
I love that.
I would love if you came on with me and Sean. I said, we're talking about the topic. I think was at the time was about like the need for Nintendo. This is when the NX was announced, not the Switch. Yes. I didn't know what it was. NX, right. The need for Nintendo to lean on indies. We felt like, hey, the indies supported you during the Wii U.
Facts.
So you should show the love back rather than going kissing EA's butt and they do nothing for you.
Exactly.
And
good talk, though.
So Jules was like, yeah, come on. And we had a very candid conversation. Everything was great. And then Jules and Sean start talking. And Jules goes on Sean's show. And I'm like, wait. What are you doing, Sean? What are you doing? Sean, don't take my people, man.
Don't take my man.
I'm like, hey, Jules, I got another show. You want to go on that one? He's like, yeah. And we just became like really good friends. And I do this thing. And I'm going to tell you right now, man. Yeah. This is if a developer gives you a code, the least you can do is email them the day their game launches and just wish them good luck.
Yeah.
Just say, hey man,
you hear this, addict?
I hope your game does really well. Good luck today. I do that for every single person that gives me codes that I have a relationship. Like a lot of times it's not really the owners or whatever, whoever it might be. But like if someone I start to build a little relationship with, I do it with Image of Form. I do it with Zoink. I do it with now Atui I don't do it with because I'll be thanking myself. But, but no, I would still say, or I still we'll message Jules and say, hey man, today's the day we're doing something good. Good luck with it, or whatever. But just be genuine, man. Absolutely. Like it's not butt kissing. It's not none of that. You're just being. It'd be no different if you guys did something, right? And I was like, hey man, good luck today. I hope you kill it. You know what I mean? Like that's all you're doing. And that genuine attitude ultimately built a relationship You guys want to hit? You guys want to hit the super chat
shout out
over here?
to One Bad Mother with the $5 super chat.
I love that name.
No, I love the name. This show always sparks the best old school gaming memories. Thanks for keeping gaming positive and fun. Yo, my brother, that meant so much. Thank you. One Bad Mother, man, really meant a lot. That's what we're trying to do. That's the mission of the Lord. Continue, Lord Nintendo Girl.
So my thing was like, hey man, I got this great relationship building with these guys, and then Jules came to me, or I went to Jules. We had a discussion one day because we used to just get on calls. He would call me up and go, "Hey man, I got this new thing coming out. What do you think?" And he would show me.
It was tapped in.
Yeah, and he would be like, "What do you think about this?" And I'd be like, "I like this. Maybe try this, whatever." And then next thing I know, he's doing it, and I'm like, "Holy crap, man!" Like he considers what I'm saying to be somewhat valuable.
Your opinion, yeah, your input, your feedback.
So then we started a show together called Behind the Scenes with Jules Watcham.
Yes,
and it was kind of like a director's cut on DVDs. We were taking his old games that he worked on, bring them in, and we would like play footage and talk about like different things that he did because we thought it was kind of cool. I wind up separating from my wife, and I needed I didn't know what was going on. I was getting ready to go through a divorce. I was leaving my house, all this stuff, and I went to all my shows, everybody that I was doing stuff with, and I said, I can't do anything for a while. I don't know when I'm going to be back. Right. Jules was one of those people. We had candid conversations. These guys all had my back. They all supported me. They showed me love. It was amazing.
That's what's up.
I left, moved back in with my mom for a little bit of time. And when I did, Jules reached out to me like a couple weeks later and said, "Hey man, I'm going to E3. Would you like, I got a suite, 2 queen size beds. Would you be willing to come with me?" He's like, "You pay your way, you get out there, no problem." I'm like, "I'm there, man. I'm there."
That's what's up.
So I went out. We had a great time.
Nice.
You know, like it was unbelievable.
That was your first E3?
First E3. 15-year-old me.
The first one, fantastic.
Yeah, man, it was amazing. Amazing. So got to meet all these people. Got to meet people from Yacht Club, from Nintendo, because the connections with Jules. He's introduced me to everybody. He's treating me like I'm somebody.
That's what's
you know what I mean? So I come back. I wind up moving into this place. I bought this place, set it up, get running. And Jules kind of has some issues on social media, and people start attacking and all this stuff. And he kind of walks away from social media. Okay. And about 3 weeks ago, he just the whole time we still communicate. You know, we stopped the show. We stopped doing the show because of all that stuff. And, you know, he reaches out to me. He says, "Hey, man, I got this thing I want to talk to you about." I was like, "Okay." He reaches out to me and he says, "I know that I need to have something going on here. I have to have somebody come in and kind of direct the ship social media wise. I love what your community does. I've been watching you for a couple of years now. I like how encouraging and how you invite people in and you're willing to help people with their stuff. Yeah. Would you please come in and, you know, run my community?" Wow. And I was like, "Dude, yes. No problem. Yes."
Let's get it.
And I was like humbled beyond belief because as a little kid, I mean, I think we can all relate to this at some level.
Absolutely.
Whatever your dream is, you sit at the kitchen table with your buddies and you just talk about like, "Man, I would love to do this one day." And I went from wanting to meet someone that makes video games to someone that wanted to go to E3 to someone that wanted to do something working with video games. And I was able to do all that within the past few years, not because of anything other than the community that was built.
Bro, inspiring, brother.
The people that are here right now, like right here in the chat right now, this is your community.
Yes.
You guys are nothing without them.
Absolutely.
These people here that are throwing up super chats and just here, you got 41 likes on this stream, right? That is, they don't realize you are helping these guys grow. And that's what it ultimately boils down to. Facts. It boils down to what you get what you give. If you show kindness, you know, we live in a world where it is so easy to jump on Twitter and just harass people all day long.
Preach it, brother.
And what does it get you? Nothing. Nothing at all. Take 1 minute and you show a little love. And it changes people's life, man. I'm sure you guys know about the brother from New York, Etika, who recently took his life.
Yeah.
That moment changed my life in terms of what I do around here.
Mm-hmm.
Every day, or at least 4 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
I will stop and I will tweet to some content creator and say, "You're doing good work."
I'm so glad you said that. That is so important in our community.
It is.
You have no idea, because again, there's content creators that are so passionate, and sometimes you'd be surprised if a larger content creator or even anyone on the same side just acknowledges them, just says, "Yo, you know what? That video you did
amazing,
was outstanding." That is so important, because so many people need that. They're on the cusp, right? Yeah. They don't know, and it's like, I'm so glad you said that. But go, Guru, you about to be my motivational speaker.
Right? He is the guru. He is the guru.
It's the guru right here.
The thing is this, right? And this is what I think people from the outside don't recognize. You guys want to hit the super chat yet again?
I love Guru on the chat.
He's a Philly Eagle. Love the show, love the environment, love this community, love the Iron Lords. Salute, brothers. Yes, Philly Eagles. Yes.
The one thing I can say is I don't like the Philly Eagles. Like we're gonna back off that. We're gonna back off.
Technically, you Philly.
I'm only 20 minutes from Philly. Trust me. I got reasoning for this. I got family from Philly. I don't even talk to them. I don't like them. But the truth of the matter is the people that are in the chat right now, you don't realize that, like, we all eat, sleep, drink this, the community, the content creating. Mm-hmm. If I'm sitting here and I'm like this is all I see is the microphone. This is all I can see. I don't see what's going on around me. Mm-hmm. I think people like what I'm doing, but I don't know, because I'm so close to the content, I can't see beyond. Mm-hmm. So you get that one stupid tweet, and it's not really stupid. I'm just saying, you get one tweet and it's like, "Hey man, I loved what you're doing. Thank you for what you're doing." Mm-hmm. Dude, it changes your day. It changes your day, bro. You guys could get, let's be honest. Mm-hmm. You guys could get 60 super chats today. Mm-hmm. And that's amazing. Mm-hmm. And that means the world. Mm-hmm. But man, you get that one tweet that says, "Hey man, I liked what you did on this one video." Mm-hmm. Man, it changes your whole day.
Cog, to jump on that point, Cog showed me a DM someone sent him. I think it was like a week and a half ago, Cog.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it was so touching.
Yeah, we got powerful ones, man.
Yeah, and he didn't want to put it out there on Twitter or whatever, but he hit Cog and he was like, "I hope it reaches King." Yeah. And I read it and I had a reflection moment.
Yeah.
That, because, a lot of that, y'all see the statues and stuff that I put up, and Cog is like, because he gets highly upset when it doesn't do the numbers that he thinks that it's supposed to do.
I know how hard my brother worked, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm.
And I know sometimes I sit there 5-6 hours working on a video until I get it right? Until I get the sound or whatever I'm looking for, or whatever field that I'm trying to get to. Mm-hmm. But when I look at it and I see the likes and I see comments at the bottom, because I try to answer every last comment.
Absolutely.
When I see that and somebody says, "Yo, I didn't know Sabretooth was this or this was that. Mm-hmm. You taught me something that I didn't know." Mm-hmm. I'm so pleased with that. I'm so happy with that. Mm-hmm. And it's a good feeling to know that somebody appreciates the whatever hard work you do. I don't care if it translates to a million views or whatever. It's just that one person that looked at it was like, "Oh my God, yes, Sabretooth is my favorite character." And you're like, "Oh wow, where can I get this from? I'll help you. I can tell you where you can go and all that other stuff." So it's a real good feeling to know that your passion is coming across to somebody on the other side.
Absolutely. Shout out to Dax with the follow super chat. ILP crew, much love. Thank you for the enjoyment every Sunday. Again, thank you so much, brother. Really, really means a lot. Man, Nintendo Guru, you guys got me tearing up in here, man. This is, but it's real, man. And I'm so glad you said it. You know what I mean? Because it's important. I just want to touch briefly 2 more questions and then we'll get moving.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing,
I'll make them quick. I won't carry on.
No. That was important, bro. I'm glad you said what you said. A personal note, obviously, I want to talk about that recent video you did. It was very inspiring, and it really hit home for me in reference to gamer health. Mm-hmm. And specifically, you having the courage to put your journey out there to the world. Okay. So the question I have for you is since then, what have you learned from that experience? And then what advice would you give to gamers in reference to their health, to physical health?
So I think what I learned from it is you don't realize the people you're touching when you actually do it. I put that out there for me, not for other people. And it sounds silly to say that because it's like, well, why did you put it up on YouTube? Right. You know what I mean? But I did it because I wanted to try to hold myself accountable. And I was like, let me put this out there because it'll just kind of resonate. You know what I mean? And the amount of people and the support that came off of that was unbelievable. Like it's crazy. And I just read something in the chat that was saying like YouTube and Twitter will always be, toxic, just block them. But it's like, man, the love that was shown over that was unbelievable. And so I think that like, it's just a matter of, it's just a matter of basically, you just got to do what you got to do and have the courage to put it out there and not be afraid what people think. Because ultimately it works on you. And then as far as like for gamers and health and stuff, like, man, you got to put yourself first.
Absolutely.
Like I said a moment ago, like I learned a lot from the Etika situation. What I learned from that, I actually took a break that weekend. I had been going full bore,
nonstop
since last August. And literally I was putting up 5 videos a day. So I'm working a full-time 50-hour a week job, come home. I would come home at 5 o'clock and I wouldn't stop until midnight. Producing content, podcasts, everything, right? And I just got to the point where I was like, I'm starting to hit a wall. And when I saw what happened with Etika, it spoke to me in terms of like, man, you got to worry about number one first. And you're no good to anybody if you don't worry about yourself. And so I just started to say to myself, like, I need to look at things and do things because if I'm not around, what good's it to anybody? And that's not, and I'm not just talking about community. I'm talking about
cut you right there. Lord Addict, please unmute your mic because this is the kind of stuff that I was trying to talk to Addict, my brother. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna put no one's personal business out there. It's just that at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Like he was going through some physical stuff. And I was just saying, bro, at the end of the day, we want you around. You know what I'm saying? So if you're good to no one if you're not alive. You know what I'm saying? And I'm glad you said that is so important. You know what I'm saying? Continue.
Wait, let me
and we got Grounded Game on my boy.
Yeah, Grounded Game on my man Fonzarelli. Lord, you guys are truly a very positive beacon of light in the gaming community. Keep doing keep doing your thing. I got the
man. Fonz, brother. Salute, man.
Stuff really reaches home. I always hope people can reach out to the next person before you do anything stupid. Reach out.
Yes.
We had a Lord. Lord
lost our brother.
And it really, see what people don't understand. It really touches everyone. Right, everybody that you've come in contact with, it affects. And if you're having a moment, you're down. There's always somebody that you can connect to. If you can't connect to somebody, hey, reach out to me. I'm telling you, I'm on. Reach out to me. I'm gonna try to give you a positive day. I'm gonna try to give back to you, but always reach out before you do anything that you can't take back.
Thank you. Shout out to Cat Daddy Fast. He said, at this red light, subbing the guru. I don't even play Nintendo, but I gotta support positivity. Now let me dry my eyes out and pulls on. He got me. I'm trying to keep it together. He's saying some powerful things, bro. Like, oh man, you have no idea, man. What a journey, what a story, man. Oh, you're hitting so many homes, and I'm glad you're saying what you're saying. Please, I put his description. I keep putting it in the chat. Please subscribe to the guru. This guy is positive. Like I said, one of my favorites. Found him through Stealth, and I was just like, man, I kind of like Guru. No disrespect to Stealth.
At least somebody does.
No disrespect. So we're gonna get you out of here as far as the interview portion. As far as we gotta ask this question, and I ask this to every guest here in the realm of the Lords. I need Nintendo Guru's top 5 video games or franchises of all time.
Of all time. Simple, man. That's not difficult. Number 1, I already talked about. Mike Tyson Punch-Out is my number 1. Number 2 would be the original Kid Icarus. Number 3 is A Link to the Past. Number 4 is Last of Us.
Wow.
Wow.
And number 5 would be Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild made it.
Yeah, it moved up because, like, for me, Zelda
Someone
games.
take this man's Nintendo card.
Attic
What
woke
are
up.
you talking about? What are you talking about?
What's the greatest Zelda, Attic? Let me just hear it real quick because Attic complained.
It's not Breath of the Wild. I can tell you
No,
that.
I said Link to the Past is in my opinion, the best Zelda game of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you try to come to me with some Majora's Mask stuff, we're gonna.
No, actually, like, I can't really like say that any of them are bad or any of them are better than the other one, but I can honestly say that Breath of the Wild, it's not one of the worst Zeldas, like, but it's just like, as far as like how a Zelda-bound game is built, it's one of the worst.
Well, but you know what I tell you, Addict, and I'm gonna tell you to your face. All right, Skyward Sword is the best Zelda.
Oh, Skyward Sword is straight up trash.
Listen. Skyward Sword is the greatest Zelda ever made, and you can't take that away.
Let's play Zelda. Come on.
You know what? Do the emotion again. Do the emotion. How you play?
You can do that with. So thank you.
Listen, here's the thing, and I'll say this. This is why Breath of the Wild ranks so high for me.
Talk to me.
Is because this is Nintendo's first true foray into an open world game.
Go.
Anybody want to play Fallout on launch day? Like, how long has Bethesda been putting out, games, open world games, and you got a day one patch that is bigger than the actual game itself?
Bang bang.
And it's a game that's what, 10 gig tops?
Yeah.
I'll give you that. Like, at the end of the day,
hold up. The only issue with that entire game is the slowdown. That's not for anything other than the stupid Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And they do a patch 2 weeks later, and the game runs seamlessly.
Yeah.
Come on.
No doubt. Shout out to NYT Music. Real Talk King got me to buying those statues. Wife over my back looking. Salute Lords, keeping the community balanced.
Yo, listen. I hope you're using that option that you can finance on Sideshow. I hope you're using that option, because when I found out about that option, things really got lit.
Yeah, I can't collect like really expensive stuff like that because I have a habit of messing around with crazy chicks that like to throw things. So I can't be around like, a plate's one thing. They throw this kind of statues King got. First off, I don't even think half the chicks I mess around with can pick that stuff up. They're pretty heavy. But it's somehow she goes Hulk on my ass and she throws it at me. It might kill me. Like,
You ain't got to worry about that, because if I got to do
look at that saber tooth back there. I might not be able to pick that up. Okay,
That's crazy.
She might be the one that gets killed if she throws that around. When I was married, I had a bat cave that I called it. And I had I gotta show King. I'll send you a picture, King, on the side.
Hit me up.
Of what it used to look like, right?
Yeah.
And I had life-size bust of the Joker. Life-size.
I know which one you had. I know which one you had. You talk about the one with the flower, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. $700 that baby put me back, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
My
sir.
wife one time tells me, like, if I ever get mad at you, I'll go down there with a baseball bat.
Boy.
Right? And I said, that will be the last thing you ever do. So you better have fun. You better take it, do it. I don't condone any violence. I'm just
He's out of condone violence.
Listen, that bus was probably the best depiction of an art like Joker, because it wasn't made like from like a Heath Ledger or anything like that. It was actual like a cartoon that they brought it to life. When I saw the flower and the clothing, the cloth, the mixed media on the bust,
yes,
the creepy head tilt,
yes,
with the smile, the demonic look in the eyes, boy, that is probably one of the best busts that Sideshow ever put out.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Salute, man. Tremendously. So those were the 5. We got the 5 in. We got those 5 games in there.
That's it. That was fine. We're good.
doubt, no doubt. So let's get this show rolling. Had a lot to talk about. Last week's poll results are in. The people have spoken to the question: with the Gears 5 multiplayer tech test out in the wild, did your gameplay experience positively or negatively affect your enthusiasm for the game on release? The winner of a very close three-way ILP poll at 46% was the I don't care where the campaign footage at, though. Wow, the petty guys are out at 40%.
Oh yeah, and I noticed I missed my slaughter of slow-mo again last
Yes,
week.
you missed slow-mo.
I was disappointed in that, man.
It was something that went on that we had to get clarification about. Somebody was saying that he got slaughtered, and I'm like, what happened? And he's like, I'm still alive, I'm not dead yet. I'm like, what's going on?
Shout out to Scum Cash, shout out to Lucas, shout out to Slow.
You look into exactly what she was doing, putting me in that. Like, she knew exactly what she was doing.
Petty, I just wanted people to go back and watch the other show.
You gotta watch it. Over in that second place with 38% of the vote was the 4K 60 goodness. Gears 5 have made me a believer on Launch Group. And coming at last place at 16% of the vote was those Gears Azure servers and wait times were horrible. Group. Shout out to over 150 lords who participated in the poll. Lord Sovereign, just real quickly, what did you think about the petty lords?
I told you, petty lords win. I'm in the bushes. All I care about is the story. I don't give a nothing.
Shout out to Brad for rigging the vote in the chat. We see you, Basement Radio Arcade. We know you had something to do with it. Let's get into these topics, man. Big show. All right. Nintendo's Tokyo Drift continues.
How long did it take you to come up with that little clever thing?
Shut up, man. Shout out to Snaldo, Nintendo Guru. Love you more now because of the Fallout 76 dislike. No doubt. But yeah, man, Nintendo's in the news, man. We had obviously the JoyCon issue going on, and then a class action lawsuit was filed. So we know this was very intense. Shout out to Hogue Law with the breakdown. But yeah, since then, Nintendo has responded. You know what I'm saying? They've made a statement in reference to what's going on, and pretty much it was more to less to the fact that you go to their customer support page and you can actually, fill out the actual link to the Joy-Con issue specifically. And then they made a statement: we take great pride in creating quality products. We are continuously making improvements to them. We are aware of the recent reports that some Joy-Con controllers are not responding correctly. We want our consumers to have fun with Nintendo Switch, and if anything falls short of this goal, we will encourage them to visit support.nintendo.com, blah, 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 blah. So now that this news is out and Nintendo has responded, let's start with the Guru. Let's get him in on this. I know you did a good video talking about this issue. I know a lot of us didn't believe it was to the extent it was, but
I have that issue.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I didn't think it was to the issue it was. Let's be fair. Let's be a little fair here. Nobody even talked about drifting until they announced the Switch Lite and they saw that the sticks were identical to the Joy-Cons.
Right.
Because then people were like, well, now what happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
So nobody even realized the amount of drifting. And I think it was one of those things of like, it was happening to people, but people didn't really think anything about it. Once they announced the Switch Lite, it blew up. I put a poll on If We Ran Nintendo Twitter, and then we also looked at like Nintendo Life did one, and it was like 50% of people were saying that like, hey, I have a drift issue.
My left one doesn't.
Yeah, it's the left one. It's the one that's the one that's basically doing it. I didn't I think that the thing, if it was under warranty, Nintendo was fixing it no problem, but they were charging $4 for shipping and whatever. If it was out of warranty, they were charging people to fix it.
Yes.
And that's where the issue was starting to arise. Mm-hmm. I think once they got whiff of the class action lawsuit, they realized, like, hey, number one, we're going to have to do this regardless. Mm-hmm. They're going to make us do this. So we might as well just jump onto it and do it now. But I think it's what brought it to light. And I think it's like one of those things of like where, hey, you're getting calls to the customer service call center, but how far is it going up the chain? Mm-hmm. And I think once the class action started happening, I think people were like, wait a minute, this is an issue. We need to fix this. Mm-hmm. So they are fixing it. And they're basically saying what they're telling people is if you have an issue, call us. We will fix it free of charge. And then if you have paid to get it fixed, let us know. and we'll reimburse you the money that you
Nice.
paid to do it. So they are doing the right thing. Ultimately, took a little longer than it should have, but I don't know, if they do it or not.
This one here, baby.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
My brother Slow Mo backslap with the greatest avatar in the game. This super chat is going towards adding getting better debate skills.
Oh,
I'm not. I don't curb stomp a dude and not help them up when I'm.
Oh, that's gonna piss Attic off. It's gonna derail the show.
I'll let you live. I'll let you live. That's fine. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, Slow Mo, your chat was on my side, and that's not even my show. So it is what it is. You can give us more money. I will be gladly. We will take that money. But at the end of the day, your chat said I won. Your chat, not mine. So you're gonna have to take that and just sit down. Or I'm gonna have to slap you.
How did you feel about the JoyCon drift?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Nintendo product. Like,
wow,
I'm used to that. Like almost every generation, it happens sooner or later.
JoyCon drift happened to every generation.
Like it almost does. Like almost every time I play a generation, I don't think it happened on the GameCube. I don't think it happened on the Wii U. I don't even know if it could happen on the Wii U. And I don't think it could happen on the Nintendo. It happened on the N64. like almost every other generation, it happens.
The first analog, though. I mean, whatever issues that they had with that,
the first, they debuted analog. They brought analog to the game.
Pioneering that. So
yeah. So in general, how do you feel about Nintendo's handling of it? Do you feel like they were pressured because of the lawsuit? Are you upset? Like, where are you at with how they handled this issue?
I think it's funny that that they say something after they get their they get that boot to the neck, because I don't think they would have said it. Everyone would have just it's fine. We don't need. We'll just go buy $78 ones. They would be like, okay, that's fine. No one make any statement. Oh, tell the community manager not to make that statement. They're fine. They're fine. Like,
you're retarded. I feel you. So pretty much the class action lawsuit is what you feel.
Yeah. I feel like at the end of the day, if they're
can we throw $5 more at him to teach him how to debate? Come on.
Oh, get him,
I had to do it. At
the end of the day, if they need a class action lawsuit to get their foot in line, then do it. Like, who cares? Like, if you're having issues, it should be recalled. Like to that extreme, and it looks like it's a large portion of people. I had it. I have it. My cousin Storm has it. Like, it's not just like one or two people. It's a good percentage of the Switch units.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is a serious question. You say you had the issues, you and your cousins and all that stuff. Did you call Nintendo?
No, because I didn't care. Like, I don't.
But that's what I'm saying. So what I'm saying is, ultimately, what I feel is, yes, people had issues, but going on the internet and complaining is one thing, and actually contacting the company and saying, "Hey, I have a problem."
But people did contact the company, and they
were fixing them.
They charged them a repair fee. They said in that statement,
not under warranty.
But they said in that statement that if you were charged a repair fee, you were getting refunded. So they were charging people
if
that
it was out of warranty. That's what I said at the beginning. If it was out of warranty, then yes, that's how businesses work. Like, if this mouse pad stops working after 3 years, Apple's not going to fix it. But if it's within warranty, that's how businesses work ultimately. So at the end of the day, now they're going back and going, "Hey, we recognize that this is an us problem. We're going to fix it properly." Until people actually started getting involved with it, like I said, until the Switch Lite was announced.
What is the warranty on a Switch?
A year.
About a year. Now, real quickly, before I get solved, I wanted to ask about: did you guys see did you see any of the litigation verbiage?
No, I didn't look at this.
All right, so let me just read a paragraph because I thought it was quite hilarious. Defendant, which manufactured, meaning Nintendo, which manufactured, marketed, and sold the Switch and Joy-Con controllers is aware of the defect through online consumer complaints made by the consumer to defendant through its own pre-release testing. Then it's subject 3. Yet, notwithstanding the knowledge of the manufacturing defect, defendant fails to disclose the defect and routinely refuses to repair the joysticks without charge when the defect manifests and never disclose this material defect to consumers. And then the last point, as a result of the defendant's unfair, deceptive, and fraudulent business practices, owners of Switches, including plaintiff, suffer an ascertainable loss of money and or property or value. As a result of the Joy-Con defect and the monetary costs associated with attempting to repair the game consoles, plaintiff and the class have suffered injury, in fact, incurred damages, and otherwise have been harmed by the defendant's conduct.
Look, at the end of the day,
you were referencing ambulance chasers, or were you referencing like a problem?
Look, I was injured.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if things aren't brought up on social media, 9 times out of 10, a company ain't taking it seriously. They're just not. Like, you go looking from the Bethesda situation for Fallout 76. If everyone would have just called their customer service and left it there and didn't take it to Twitter, Bethesda wouldn't be in the situation they are now. They would be fine because no one is blasting them on Twitter. That is the one voice people have. If they got a Twitter account, that at Bethesda was enough times 1,000 to get Bethesda's attention.
Yeah.
Like, a year warranty? That's not a lot. Like, I've had this for
a warranty from the store that you purchased it from, in conjunction with the warranty that is.
I mean, go to. I don't have a Best Buy around me though, so I couldn't even do that.
I mean, at the end of the day, like, you got to look at it. Like, how many millions of Switches are in the wild, right? When you think about it,
right?
I'm sorry, but 2,000 people tweeting about it—that's not a lot of people.
But that's still enough of a voice to get
traction
going.
$500 class action lawsuit on your neck.
That's different. That's different.
The whole.
How do you think that ammo carried around to get people in the class action lawsuit from social media?
No, I'm not. That's not. I get what you're saying, but what I mean is if people don't contact the company and say I have a problem,
right? Then they can't document.
You're not like.
Right.
I guarantee you, most of the people that voted that they had problems, I bet you out of those 50%, like, so Nintendo Life did a poll, 2,000 people voted, essentially 1,000 people said they had a drift problem. I bet you less than 5% actually contacted Nintendo.
That's because most of the time when it comes to hardware issues like that, they just, at that point,
Nintendo, let me explain something to you. Nintendo has the best customer service ever. If you call them up, dude, they will help you with anything.
Look, have you ever worked in any type of customer service related issue?
I worked at Best Buy.
Look,
I do customer service daily.
I worked at Dish Network. I took calls of these people calling. 80% of these people didn't even want to call. A bunch of them think that there's nothing that we can even really do. Like, there is a huge disconnect in terms of customer service like that, where people don't even think calling is going to help.
Listen,
salute the back rap for the 2-hour super chat being very petty. More Switches in the wild than Xbox One.
I understand rap. Anti Microsoft at this point, but let me say I am the ultimate fraud because my Switch could be drifting to death upstairs right now. I have actually going. Right. So until they get some original content that I like, that I want to play, I will find out about my drift and I will join that class action.
This is an original? This is an original? What are you doing over here? What are you talking about?
Talk that talk, Guru.
Okay, well, all right. Now,
you don't like good games. I'm sorry. That's on my fault.
There you go. Thank you.
What I'm going to do for you, and this is true, the Fire Emblem, because it has amiibo support, I will be supporting that, sir.
Just say that for you, good games constitute amiibo support.
That's right.
There's a shrine there that when you go to it, they're like, and this is where you go to use your amiibos. I'm like, I mean, looked it, man. I did. I almost like I was at work, so I couldn't post it, but I almost, if I would have been at home, I would have screenshot him like, there King go with this cheating.
There you go.
Whoa, that's not cheating.
You're a king of brothers now. Now philosophical brothers now.
The functionality of the system. What they promised me when I purchased it, it said amiibo support. I want that. So that's what that little mini thing. When you took that out of there,
that is literally the equivalent of using.
Actually, made all those statues, all those little.
That is the equivalent of using the gun sheet on GTA. Okay, man.
What it is.
It's like, I don't need to go look for it. I just press the left down, right up, right down, right up. Bam! I got guns.
Look, I'm gonna take Donkey Kong up there. I'm gonna put him on. We're gonna figure out what he gives me, and I'm gonna be happy. Do you know how much joy, how much hours I got of fun?
I can't be 100% positive, but as King, I think King has said he wasn't messing with the game because it had no amiibo support, or something related to that.
Yeah, he made statements like that. Look, we got to get it because we got to get another topic in for a group, but I got to get Solve real quick in the kick. So Solve, your whole thing, Nintendo Drift, JoyCon situation.
I mean, I'm never the one to condone people ganging up on anybody just to, to make a point. But you know, Nintendo has always been the type of company that, yes, their customer service is fantastic. I rarely ever had a problem with any of their products. Honestly, I never had any drift on my JoyCon. I don't know, but the fact that they're being, as soon as that lawsuit came out, they're like, oh, hold up, we're changing up. Like, I've never seen Nintendo, because Nintendo's the type of company that's going to tell you, like, you're going to take what we give you and you're going to like it.
Because sometimes you got to press them. Like,
yeah. and the fact that they're being pressed, listen, as a proud Puerto Rican American who saw the mother country recently oust their governor just by like standing there and just like forcibly getting him out, twerking him out of the.
Well, at the end of the day, this isn't going to help now, here and now. You know, they're going to do their little trade-ins. Like, okay, here's your Switch. Leave me alone. But what this is going to help is, you know, that Switch 2. Okay, I want you to make sure that don't happen again. I don't feel like dealing with this next gen. Make sure that don't happen again.
To me, I tell you, like, it's amazing to me that when it's used for something like this to make a company address something that maybe they thought wasn't as serious as it actually is, I'm in total agreement with it. And I mean, I hope this gets retracted now that they're addressing the issue. I hope the point of it was to get them to address the issue in this across the board type of way, and they sort of retract this, and it's not an issue.
I don't really think like a lawsuit was maybe a little too far, but you know, it got the point across. It's like, look, like if you sell us defective products and everyone tells you, we will press you. Like
all three systems has had a fatal flaw.
Yeah.
You know, you said the red ring of death, and this is not as egregious as that. But the fact that Nintendo bent the knee, got ahead of it as soon as it got to, when the paperwork came onto the table, I'm pretty sure they said, let's get those for free, please. Thank you.
I mean, listen,
I think one of the
let's back it up a little bit.
Go ahead, girl.
This is why I say Nintendo has one of the best customer services. When the Joy-Cons first came out, the left Joy-Con
I didn't even know they had a customer service. I ain't gonna even lie to you guys.
Continue, Guru.
When it wasn't working, when the left Joy-Con was dying on people at the beginning of the Switch,
beginning of the DS,
they fixed it. They addressed it. When you go back to the Wii, right? When you played Other M, if you played Other M, not many people played it because it was a bad game. But if you did play it,
right?
Yeah. When you went into a certain area, you could lock your game up. There was a bug in the game that you could lock the game up and couldn't advance, couldn't do anything.
Wow.
Kid Smooth put on his Joy-Cons backwards.
Nintendo recognized it and said, "Send us your memory card. We'll fix it and send it back to you. We're not charging." They've since the beginning of Nintendo, they've always been pretty good with customer service. It might take them a while sometimes to pick up on this, and I think the lawsuit was. I think it was just ambulance chasers, honestly. I think they would have gotten around to this at some point.
Right.
Probably not as quickly as people wanted them to. But I think, to be fair, like I said at the beginning, until the Switch Lite was announced, I don't think anybody had any idea how big of a problem it was. The Switch Lite got announced, and then all the drifting came up.
And I think the reason that it got so much attention there is because, like, look, like, first off, these things are not cheap. These Joy-Cons are
They're
not cheap.
expensive.
Yeah, that's
I don't like, maybe later generations of I'm assuming they've at least remade these to some point. I don't know if like the new, because I have like the blue and red one, so I'm sure since it's one of the first ones, that's the reason mine did it. This blue one definitely, probably almost all of them do it. But it's just like, I guess where I played so many handhelds and I've had issues with handhelds sooner or later, it was not an issue. And I don't play any like hardcore first person shooters or anything like that on the Switch, so like it's never really an issue. Most of the time I can use I don't even think these are called weird pad, but I can use that and it's equivalent. Like sometimes I have to like press out a little bit because it keeps going up and down on the menu.
Right.
Like,
it's even crazier. I don't even use those stupid little things. I use my controller that I can use that you can't use with the mini.
Yeah. Moving along. King, are you good? You're ridiculous. You feel they addressed it how they're supposed to?
I'm telling you right now. When the paperwork hit the table,
What do you say? Doug Bowser like puckered up and was like, "Oh, wait, did you see the video that he put out though?"
No, I ain't see it. What do he do?
He was talking to the camera and slowly was like sliding to the left, like he was drifting.
No,
wow.
Yes, apologizing. He was apologizing and like dipping to the left as he was apologizing. So funny.
I like that, man. I like that.
Pain. They laughing at your pain.
Yeah.
Anyway, as long as that lawsuit hit the table, free happened. So shout out to the lawsuit. Listen, y'all can see right now, right? Don't let it get too bad. If anything goes wrong with something you got and you out of warranty, they want you to pay for it, sue them.
Protest. Go out there and twerk in front of their building.
They're like, oh man, they brought lawyers in it. Go ahead and settle. Give them what they want. Just get off my desk.
Oh my God.
Right.
Yeah. All the lords have nailed it. I mean, obviously I didn't like the initial silence from Nintendo regarding the issue, but glad it's being addressed. Customer support is on it. You know what I'm saying? They're giving it to you. All you got to do is pay for the shipping. Definitely a fan of this approach, kind of like with the whole Red Ring of Death situation. Obviously, it's not as egregious as that, but I like that they just jumped in front of it because I remember when, what's his name? Peter Moore talking about speaking to Steve Ballmer during that time.
It's not easy to go to someone like Steve Ballmer and say, I need $2 billion. Shout out to Red Information said to get her Joy-Cons now. But so I mean, what those are moments that you got to see how like you handle it. And it's you take that hit and you say, look, we got to get in front of it. And hopefully with the future iterations of the Switch, the one with the extended battery life and the light, hopefully, those issues are resolved. But we got to move on because Nintendo, we got much time with them left. But I wanted to get this topic in with him, which is Sav's topic. I'm gonna ask Sav if he can modify slightly. I know we got both because we got Emblem and we got Youngblood, right? Yeah. But I wanted to know if we can modify a little bit, focus more on Emblem first.
No, that's fine. That's okay, cool. I know Addict has probably played more Emblem than I have. So
I have 15 hours in it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're gonna talk about that. Let's get it. I'm hearing Game of the Year talk. What's going on, Saul?
So let me introduce it, and then Addict can get deep in the weeds with it because I know.
No doubt. Go for it.
So first Fire Emblem Three Houses is the first Fire Emblem to come to quote unquote console in quite some time since the GameCube era. Everything else has been sort of on portables for Fire Emblem, and it is an amazing game. And this is coming from a guy who's never really been that big into strategy RPGs, but this is wow. As a starting off point, it's great because it you don't have to have played the older games to be invested in this. Yes. So the story of Three Houses is basically this. Basically, it's kind of like Harry Potter. Basically, right. you are basically tasked to join one of three particular houses within a school that is basically taught to they're basically taught to fight. Right? They're being trained to go out and fight, and once you choose one of these houses, basically you become a teacher, you train your students, you also improve your own stats in order to, like I said, go out and fight. Eventually what happens is story-wise is that everything, there's like a time time leap forward. And basically all the people that were your friends within this monastery where you guys were all learning, which is basically the monastery is basically like Hogwarts.
Like Hogwarts.
Yeah. Now they're your enemies. Now something has happened in the interim that all of these people that you were once close with are now, except the ones in your own house, are basically your enemies now. And for me, the tactical stuff, the combat stuff, I'm still trying to wrap my head around because I haven't played Fire Emblem in such a long time. But for me, the thing that drew me to this game more than anything is the details in the story stuff. There's so much actual RPG in that. It's nuts.
Did you get to where you break the time?
No, I haven't done that yet.
I literally I'm glad you said that. Because I was gonna be real tight if I didn't get to that part first. Because I literally just got to the part where they're like, "Let's come back here in 5 years." So it didn't spoil it for me, but you almost spoiled stuff for me.
No. So no, I didn't get to that. So I don't know. I'm not gonna spoil anything in that regard. But the thing about it is, what I've seen so far, like I said, for me, as just a classical RPG fan, is that they've added so much of that into this game. Stuff you can do at the monastery when you're not in class, when you're not actually learning, when you could just walk around and roam the monastery and just do side missions and stuff like that. There is so much of that. It's kind of ridiculous. I've never seen this in a Fire Emblem game before where there's so much. It's kind of overwhelming at first. It is. It definitely is. There's so much that you can do, but it all goes back to two things. And making you care about the characters, so that when this time leap happens and you have to murk these people, it really hurts you.
And you know, I really like that the alliance, the yellow ones. I like the main character a lot. So I have a feeling when I come up to him, it's gonna be like, man, are you sure you don't want to just come over here? Like,
well, that's the thing. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking that like the leaders of each one, the three main characters that you meet early on, I think those, regardless of what, you know, you're gonna have to kill the other two. But I think at some point you are able to recruit people that were from other houses, but it's just going to depend on what stats you've boosted up to be able to get them to cross over. Like, and that's another thing. Like, depending on what you choose to focus on stat wise, it'll open up different avenues for you to be able to bring different people into your fold, and other ones won't even be available or be super difficult to do depending on what your stats are. So, like I said, like for me, just the core RPG mechanics, apart from the battle stuff, is what really has me drawn in, because they threw the kitchen sink into this. They really did.
No doubt. Let's get Addict finishing. We got to get Guru's thoughts on it.
You know what I really like about this game, gives me a huge Final Fantasy Tactics feeling. Like, I feel like this is the only game that beats the original Tactics.
Wow, that's huge for me.
Because that story from Tactics, like, you know, shout out to who was it that you sent me that tweet?
Oh, Stealth 40K?
Yeah, Stealth 40. Like, he put on there, you could ask LordCognito before the podcast, or I even said it. I was like, I feel like this church a little bit south, man. Something gonna happen. They ain't saying everything. So, you know, I got to the point where you know, I'm pretty sure that church is gonna I'm pretty sure after that gap, the church is going to be the enemy. I don't know, but, you know, we're going to have to see, because it gives me that feeling that, because in Tactics, that's what happened.
Right.
A lot, you know, Tactics was way worse than that. Everyone turned out to be the enemy in Tactics, but so what I really enjoy is I enjoy the combat. You know, they got that class system, but it's different. They have like that school thing into it. I feel like this is a better Persona 5. Like, I like Persona, but I didn't like the school stuff.
And you like the school stuff here
because it's well done here. Like, when I come up to, you know, I had like a 33% chance to upgrade the leader of my house to an armored unit, and it passed. And because it passed, I used this, because the only thing that would hurt her was archers and mages. Well, mages really. So I used to send an archer with her, just an archer, to kill the mages. And she would come up to like 6 people, and she just put her shield down, and they would come up one at a time, and she would just kill them. Because how it works is it's like a cause and reaction. When you hit them, it reacts to an attack back. So I'd literally just sit her in the middle of an entire army, and one by one, these dummies will come up and try to clap her, and she would just drop that axe on them over and over again until they're all dead. Like,
no doubt. Let's get the Guru in, man, because like I said, he's got limited time. So Guru, Fire Emblem's out. First, would you pick it up, and then is it hyperbole with this Game of the Year talk?
Game of the Year. Let's put a pin in it and hold.
Pump the brakes.
We still have some stuff coming. I mean, because it'll probably be Nintendo's Game of the Year.
Okay.
Like, it'll probably be the game that Nintendo pushes and probably does get nominated when everything goes on. I don't know that anything's gonna. Depends on what like Death Stranding and all that other stuff does. It's gonna be in the mix, but it's definitely there in the mix. The thing is, I'm curious about these guys. Are you playing with permadeath or no?
Yes, I'm playing with permadeath.
I ain't got the off. I turned that feature right off.
I lost half my house.
Casual.
I lost half my house in like the first 5 matches.
Yeah, that's brutal with this game.
And I'm sitting there, and like how this game reacts is in tactics. If someone fell, you had turns to get them up before they were quote unquote gone. Yeah, on here, it's like if they drop 0, done.
Yeah,
I mean, as you progress in the game, you do get ways to be able to turn back time a little bit and be able to avoid some of that.
I just found that out two fights ago. I've been going this whole game, didn't even know I could do that. And what's funny is you guys, LordCognito, like once you get that short on people, you're pretty much like a Jehovah's Witness at that point. Can you please join us? Can you please join us? Like what do I got to do to get you over here?
I don't. That's why I play without it on, because I just want to enjoy the game and the story.
Right.
But I like that it gives you. It's also like 2 different difficulties, and it lets you play that way.
I'm playing on the hardest difficulty with
Thank you, Guru, for saying exactly how I feel, because Addict likes to play on the most unmanageable, craziest difficulties ever in games, and that's why he's the difficult game conqueror. And I use amiibos to help me do my stuff.
And what's funny is I'm sitting here, I'm like,
amiibo support King. I got you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here. Amiibo support for items in Fire Emblem, and you can boost your character.
I'm sitting here. I'm like, look, like
right now, I'm going to Best Buy. Once you said that there's amiibo characters can be used, you're gonna see. I'm gonna put a video up of all these guys coming off the shelf because they're ready for war.
What's funny is
line them up. And just like I did with my Breath of the Wild, I had a whole table. I showed Cog my table.
It was so disgusting.
I had every amiibo ready to rock. 12 hours. Amiibo.
What I really like about the game is, like on tactics, you'd have 3 turns. If you didn't, they would be dead. On here, 0, they're dead. But the difference on here between their tactics is tactics, they outnumbered you, but not by much. It was like, they always at least had like 3 or 4 more people. Sometimes if you go on here and permadeath is completely crippled your team, it's going to be 3-on-1. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, all right. I'm like, I have this Pegasus chick that's on a flying horse. And I'm like, you suck. You're sitting over here in this corner. You can watch everyone else do everything else. You're not moving. You need a change. This class sucks. And I'm like, all right. And then some people, like the archers, I will keep them in the forest the whole game. It's like, you don't move from here because I can't have you dying. Like,
the riders are typically the best across but there's it's paper.
It's the Pegasus one,
but the thing is, this game is paper, rock, scissors.
Okay.
So each thing is going to outclass the next. So
not as much as it used to be, Guru.
Did they cut it back that much?
No, you know how the paper, rock, scissors, like sword, like axe be sword, all that stuff. That's sort of been eliminated.
That armored unit takes everything.
It really does. Like, so they've sort of eliminated that, where that's not what I find now is that difference in terrain. Yes, really important.
Yes, because I was in the woods. The guy told me to get in the woods and whatever, and you could kind of be stealthy. And I noticed my evasion was up when I had my units in there. Continue.
Nice.
But like for me, what I like about this is it reminds me of Fates. I was so afraid that with this one, I was going to have to buy 3 games. But I was glad the way they kind of did this one. Fates, I did buy 3 games. And I liked it where it was just very similar, where you go in, you hit the point, and it's like, okay, now pick where you want to go. Yeah. And then you went out, you picked the team you want to go and go. It's similar to this, like you pick your house and then you go.
And when when I picked the house, like I kid you not, man, it was a hard decision. I didn't want the blue dude. That dude, I didn't care about him.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there looking at the red and the yellow, and I'm like,
Eagles,
who
baby.
do I want,
Who
man?
the yellow? Who the brother?
The yellow is the alliance.
Yeah, I went with them. I went with the alliance.
Yeah, I like the main character. I like his.
He's the closest to a brother's.
I like his charisma. The main character of the alliance. I like his charisma. I like the cockiness of the chick from the red one. That blue dude gets on my nerves. Like every time I see him, like when we do those, like
he's too noble. Like
every time we do those house battles during the academy, I'm like blue going out first because he's annoying. Like what's cool, what I like about it is when you do those big battles and it's all the houses fighting each other. I'll be sitting back. I'll have like my two biggest people in the front. Everyone else in the back, I'm like, I'm just gonna let yellow and blue just have it out.
Right.
Like,
I think the thing that I like it best about this is in previous Fire Emblem games, like when you would go to your battle, it would kind of like be top down and all that stuff. This does a swooping thing that makes you feel like it's a bigger battle.
When
it feels like it's more immersive. Like where in the other ones you would pick like one character, and it felt like it was this character and this character fighting. But when you actually it swoops down, you're realizing like it's a battle going on. It's a
battle, because like when you see that cinema of the soldiers rushing through, and it's like it's some real Game of Thrones on some bastard type situation.
The story is amazing too. Like I just got to that part that stuff goes down, and I'm like, man, I fought the first boss. I ain't gonna say his name, but I come up on him.
Oh,
okay,
here we
ain't talking about
here
that. Hold on,
go.
we'll talk about that here in a second. I know you're about to go on a rant. Let me finish my thought first.
Actually, no. I just want to know how that frame rate.
It is pretty. At times, it can be pretty bad, but I don't care because the game's lit.
Is that dock or undock?
I don't even have a dock anymore, so I don't. It's undocked.
So you undock. So you running around here undocumented. All right.
Okay, but you know, so how the battlefield was for the first big boss of the game is it's like a circle. Like you have to go around in a circle to get to him. I only got 2 people to the boss because it was so bad. There were so many people. I only got like 5. They had like 15. So I finally got 2 people to the boss, and I went to fight him. And on there, it lets you see the reactions that's gonna happen at the end of that fight. And I'm like, man, I hit him. He's gonna almost kill my dude. I'm like, I got to. Like, I've come too far. And thank God I got a critical and I killed his ass with 1 hit. But it was bad, man. Like, I really enjoy it. Feels like tactics, and it feels like the way. This I want in this statement. It feels
you're spoiling the whole game.
Let's Bob talk about a game.
Let me finish. This is how I feel about this game because I've never played a Fire Emblem.
Yes,
I feel this is the direction that tactics should have went. Kind of like how I feel like Persona is the direction Final Fantasy should have went. Like, you know, instead of completely rebranding your brand to do something different to get a new audience, you double down, you make that formula better. Like, I really like it. Like, they got a permanent Fire Emblem. I'm gonna buy every Fire Emblem from now on.
So adding like better than Fell Seal.
Oh yeah, Fell Cell. As much as I like Fell Cell,
shout out to 6
it's still, you know, it's still an indie game. It doesn't have millions of dollars being funded.
Right,
Your budget. Can we let Nintendo go?
I'm gonna do what all you guys should be doing. Killmonger Ultra Rare. Thank you for the love with the $5, my brother. We're looking. People forget that Kojima refugee camp is going to make Death Stranding Game of the Year. LOL.
I don't think Kojima's stupid enough to do
that. Did you guys see the video for Heartman?
Yes.
Boy, I saw that come up and I said, you know what? I'm done with this game. I'm done with this game. I'm done with him and his strangeness. I'm done. Just when the game comes out, I'm going to be bewildered just like the rest of you guys trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do with this package.
He watched Link climb up a mountain and he was like, we're just going to put a ladder up there and we're just going to climb up the ladder to get up to the top of the mountain. Like, they put that thing where he's dropping a ladder and it's going 90 feet across the world. And I'm like, the hell is this game all about?
Well, he got you talking about it. That's exactly what he wanted.
It's true.
Continue, Lord Nintendo Guru.
So I think that what I've touched of the game, I think the game is, I haven't put a whole hell of a lot of time into yet. But what I like of it is what I've played of it so far, I'm loving. I think that the game is really, really good. I love the storylines of Fire Emblem games. I feel like it is the one true story game that Nintendo does do. It has a rich lore. I liked also that like no two games are alike. No two games follow off each other. It's its own isolated.
Like Final Fantasy.
Yo,
yes.
Right, if you said FedEx finally got a 5-star video game, stop hating.
Continue.
So I think this is. I don't know that it can ever. I don't think that a game like this can win Game of the Year.
Okay.
Ultimately, because it's so niche that this game will probably sell 1 million copies, but it's not going to be a big banger like the other games are going to be.
I tell you, I don't know, man, because I have what I do is I have notifications from all the mom and pop shops in the city, right, in New York, and
New York also.
So when it comes when the games drop, I'll just get a Twitter notification, right?
Wow.
Every last one had it about I think Wednesday.
Yeah,
they sold out of stock 3 times.
wow.
Damn.
And it was all Fire Emblem. Every single one. It's about 5 mom and pop shops. Every single one sold out of their stock.
Yeah. Like I went to my Best Buy.
Times.
I went to my Best Buy at like 6:00 Friday, and they had a whole boatload of them. So, like I said, it's because it's RPG, because it's not even not a classic JRPG. It's a strategy game. I think it turns some people off.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you think now? Let's ask the important question. We coming up with our boy Keighley and Kojima. You know, it's gonna be hard to beat Death Stranding. Death Stranding's good for video game awards, but do you think it gets nominated, or does it get put in a separate category away from the quote unquote heavy hitters that end up being finalists for Game of the Year?
I think it can get nominated.
I think it gets nominated. I
So you think it's in the Game of the Year nomination category?
I think it can get into the game because let's be serious.
There's not been nothing this year, really.
Yeah, there hasn't been anything out there. So what is it? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have a whole lot of games coming, so it's a little bit different. It's not like it's got a lot of contenders out there where typically you have a boat like last year and the year before, there was a massive amount.
Oh, yeah, it was insane.
This year's been a little bit, there's a lot of games. I'm not denying there's a lot of games. There's a lot of games. Not a lot of A caliber, top of the line, like everybody's talking about a type game.
I would say there's just average games and a little above average. Nothing spectacular. Something that you see is like Game of the Year.
Yes.
Got you. No, fair enough. Because let me jump in real quick, King, if you don't mind, because I know you didn't copy yet, right?
I got nothing to say about the game. It got Meeple support.
What's the frame rate?
How's the frame rate? You got Meeple support. That's all you're gonna ask. That's it.
King, you're gonna love it. There's a little logo there. It says Amiibo.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. I don't care what anybody says. That means a lot. When I go, I want full functionality of my stuff. I those things are not cheap, and I searched all over the earth to get my stuff. And I was on waiting queues and Amazon and stuff like that to use this stuff. So the fact that the game does have it, it guarantees my purchase of it, because when I'm sitting there and my son sees me put my Amiibo to it, he understands that he can have fun. Like, you can be whatever age you are. I'm playing with a toy to play a toy in a toy. It's this inception at its finest. And I love it. I love it. I don't care what nobody says. I will be that giant kid sitting on the floor surrounded by an army of Amiibos just to get the extra fruit off the tree.
Yo,
you know what it boils down to? If he walks in the door with another Amiibo, his old lady going to kill him. So he's got it. So at least if he has them around, I have to have them. I gotta have them. Like, I'm using them.
They working.
God.
That was absolutely nuts. I had a whole tape to the side. Every 12 hours in Breath of the Wild, I counted down. My clock told me.
We were playing Destiny. He's like, hold on, I gotta be right back. Like, why? I gotta check in on Zelda.
I gotta scan my Amiibo.
Gotta scan your Amiibo.
I love it.
24-hour limit.
I love it.
Look, I'll jump in quick, man. Yo, Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Look, here's the thing. When I first saw the game announced on the direct, I'm like, yo, it looked good, tremendous potential. You know what I'm saying? But initially, I'm not gonna shout out to the cops coming by, salute the cops. I had no intention of buying day one. So, like, I was like, I'm gonna get it because the backlog is crazy, right? The backlog is crazy.
Backlog is ridiculous. I felt the same way.
Then I start to see that Metacritic. So I'm like, IGN 9.5, Destructoid 9.5, all these 9.5. So I'm like, okay, what put me over the edge? What did it for
Meebos.
me? It was not Amiibo. It was not Amiibo. But what did it for me? I shout out to my people's Easy Allies. They're very critical usually when games get high reviews, and I wanted to see what they was going to nitpick at, right? And the stuff they were saying, it was just like there's a little performance thing here and there, but they were saying it's so minor and it doesn't take it away from the overall experience. And then, to be honest, my man Addict, because Addict is fussy, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Like Addict is so damn fuzzy. So if everyone likes it, he gonna put the extra. You fussy.
Oh boy, you bougie. You think I'm bougie? You bougie.
He's bougie with his game selection. So, and I know how he feels about tactics. So I get the text from Addict. Addict's like, "Carl, this could be my game of the year." So I'm like,
what?
Whoa. You know what I'm saying? So now, and then the last thing for me was I am big RTS. I come from the XCOM. I come from that.
He thought it was the Dynasty Warriors.
So I thought it was Dynasty Warriors. To be honest, you Guru, like I thought it would. And I cannot stand them Dynasty Warriors games. Like
I love them. I love them.
So remember, I got scared when I saw the armies going at each other. And I'm like, oh, this is Dynasty Warriors. But then. Yeah. And I saw the actual gameplay mechanics, and it's RTS, and it's moving your. Yeah. That's what I like. That's that XCOM gameplay that I like. And then the thing that really put it over the edge to me, from like a Banner Saga, is like tons of cinemas for everything, voice acting for everything. Like that to me, and the character development is what put it over there. Because again, Banner Saga is like this, it's lit, but the problem is it's all text based, right? Yeah. So you just reading, press button, and again, you lose that disconnect. But with these guys, you got that action, thing. You've got the voice in the cinemas. You got the character development. The permadeath is kind of fire. I go front, just the option. And yeah, man, I think Nintendo got another one, y'all.
Here you go.
I'm just
coming in hot.
They're coming in hot, baby. They're coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
And I'm just saying, right now, King.
Hey, LordCognito.
Yo, listen, hey,
LordCognito, hold on.
I bet your knees on this that it ain't game of the year.
All right, so listen, what we can do. We can
do whatever coming game of the year. We ain't gonna finagle it. We can finagle
this. We can finagle this. I'm just saying, with the rest of the year, it's looking spooky for the rest.
It might be. It might just be. Spooky. Why don't you take that bet with your knees?
So what I'm saying is, with
your knees.
What I'm saying is, with the third party support. We know Nintendo Grow Astral Chain is next month.
Yeah, that's true. That could be. That could be.
Don't get me started on Astral Chain. Then we got.
What's up with those knees on this game?
So what about the knees for MPD?
No,
you put your knees. Let's put the knees for MPD. Who is gonna stop?
Well, I'm telling you
for 2019. That's what I want to know. That's
listen, I already been the need to that. Y'all already don't get all the way through to the end of the year because y'all are actually putting out fire straight through, right? Notice how I say y'all, right? Like I don't got a system. But are you gonna say this game of the year? Because y'all talking, it's in the title. This is in the Fire Emblem.
But hey, to be fair, King, it says a question mark.
Yeah, my question mark is he gonna put them knees up?
I am not putting my knees up on subjective voting.
Come on,
and Kojima is like this. Come on, man. All Death Stranding got to do is be above average, and you know he coming out on stage to deliver him the award personally.
I could just see the speech now. When I first played Death Stranding, shout out to my friend Kojima. We've been through a lot. We've been in this industry for years. When I first played it, I knew I was playing a masterpiece. I love me some
Jeff Keighley with that Kojima relationship. I worry. Even average.
Staring into each other's eyes just a little.
Exactly. Like, come on, man. No other game got a chance.
This question of Fire Emblem Game of the Year ? The answer to that question is no.
Yes, and the answer to your question is who will win MPD for the rest of the month? The answer to the question is Nintendo Switch. Well, that's all I got, man. I mean, Fire Emblem's out here moving and shaking, and again, pleasant surprise. Guru, you just let us know because I know we're keeping you. So
I do got to bounce.
Yeah, we got to bounce. So let's get them out the right way, man. Yo, salute to the Nintendo Guru. Oh, brother, thank you so much, man. I know you leave a mid-show, but bro, thank you so much. Tremendous jewels drop. outstanding positivity. Love what you're doing, man. It's an honor to have you in the realm. We'd love to have you back. Please tell the people.
Anytime.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Please tell the people your channel, where can they find you and what you got going on, man?
It's simple, man. You can either go to nintendoguru.com, Twitter at Nintendo Gurus. The YouTube channel is Nintendo Guru, and whatever. It's, you know, you can find me. I'm out there. I'm an idiot. But seriously, I didn't know about you guys till you reached out.
Wow.
I love this is the best show I've done.
Wow, thank you.
Straight up. And that's including my stuff. You guys are an absolute blast, man. It's been an absolute pleasure. I am humbled that you even asked me. Thank you so much. And yeah, I can't wait. Anytime.
We're gonna do it again.
Now I gotta go thank Stealth, right? That's
you gotta thank Stealth, because I came across, was researching Stealth, and I came across you, and I'm like, yo, Guru is fire. Like, I gotta get Guru on here, man. Like,
don't let this man lie to you. He's all about bringing people in here that can tag team me and King. Okay?
I ain't gonna lie. I needed some switch help. It was only me and Solve out here fighting a good fight.
Because he got me this week, don't mean he gonna have me next week.
Yeah, that's for sure.
When I saw his amiibos in the back, I knew who team he was running with.
Wait, it wasn't the Zelda sticker on the mic. That didn't take off.
That was dope, guys. I didn't even see that. The screen popped in. I looked in the back. I was like, well, hello.
Yeah, I think I'm in love. Right in front of me. I got Rax here in front of me with Amiibo. Wow. I got for you, listen, King. I'm just gonna do this for you, bro. Just because, you know, I forgot to open from last time. Tell them about Daisy up over here.
What we got?
I got the Pokemon trainer out there.
Okay.
In the other room, I picked up Pokemon trainer. I got Daisy here. I'm about to break her. There we go.
Wow, that man pull out the fresh new joint out the box.
I get over here, man. Come on.
Hey, King, I low-key think that was flexing on you. Look, I don't even need this in a box, okay? Like, I got these on the deck. There's 5 back here. Where you at, King?
My knee is bent. Listen, let me tell you something. I love to see everyone is a king in their own realm.
Facts.
And his setup is so beautiful. The lighting, the care that he takes with his amiibo, his situation, his space is his. So when I say KOS, when I say king of the statues, it's not me being the king of the statues. It's everybody's a king of their situation. And I swear, when I saw it, I got goosebumps. I love everything about it. When you hit the lights,
the chat went crazy. They were like, yo, everybody loves the Guru setup, man. So salute to the Guru. Dude, enjoy your day. Happy born day to your brother. You know what I'm saying? All that good stuff. Have a good one. We will definitely get you back in the room. More Nintendo talk to come. You already know.
You guys to come do some stuff with me.
Oh, bro, the honor would be.
I want to do some stuff with you guys. Seriously, absolutely, I appreciate the love and all that, but you guys impressed the hell out of me today. I'm floored by everything. So
thank you so much, brother.
Please, you guys have a great rest of the show. Thank you, chat.
Likewise, enjoy, brother.
As I go, man. Love you guys.
Peace. Right. No doubt, the Nintendo Guru in the building. So we got some other topics we want to move on. Did you want to comment on Wolfenstein before we move on?
I mean, real quick, man. Like, it's a side story. It's not for you, King. I'm telling you, they did my Wolfenstein a little bit dirty, and they did it in a way that I know you guys would be happy. They
do.
Wait a second.
There's a little bit of destiny in my Wolfenstein. I'm not happy. I'm not happy about this.
How did Destiny sneak in? Talk to me.
What are you talking about? Destiny Wolfenstein.
You gotta play with people. Is it the fact you gotta play with people? So
beyond that.
Don't fall for that, King. I think he's trying to trick us into buying the game. Okay.
I still think you won't buy it, but. So basically, let me give a little overview of the game real quick. Yeah, it has amiibo support. Mecha Hitler amiibo support.
What?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was about to say now that's out of control.
So basically, it's a side story with BJ Blazkowicz's twin daughters, 20 years after the events of the New Colossus. Right. So I'm not going to spoil anything about the end of New Colossus or this because the time jump will tell you some things that went down. So basically, the premise is BJ is disappeared, and his daughters go out to try to find him. And him and Anya have basically trained him to be Nazi killers from the day they were born. So so the game is co-op now. So the first time in a Wolfenstein campaign that you can play co-op. But what they have added to it
that they showed at the conference.
Yeah, man, we saw it.
It's for the Xbox.
Yeah,
and the Switch. The Switch has it too.
The Switch has
it. Hell with that Switch stuff you're talking about? What the hell's wrong with you? Why would you do that? Like, why would you do that?
I played it on Xbox. Don't worry. I'm done with that experiment. I'm done.
All right. Experiment over. All right, good. Now I'm gonna buy the game. Thank you. I thought you was talking about some Switch crap.
We gotta buy it just because they showed Sovereign the Light.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, they on the Switch eShop, right? They had like the demo up. So I'm like, let me just download the demo, see how it plays, right?
Let me uninstall the demo.
As a point of comparison, right? But no, it's not that. It's just that because this game comes with a buddy pass. If you buy like the special edition, it gives you a buddy pass that you can just give a code to your friend. If they don't own the game, they can still play the whole game with you in co-op.
Nice.
So that's what that was on the eShop. I'm thinking they're giving you a little bit of a demo of the game. You can play it. No, it's just the buddy pass. So I did not see it on Switch. I have not seen it. So
shout out to my
brother.
108 Dragons TV. If y'all haven't subscribed to him, subscribe to him now, please. In the building, I see them blue Yetis in the house. Love that tech stuff. What's up, family? And Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 still got no voice chat.
Yo, shout out to Dizzy too, man. He's out there. He was at QuakeCon, man. He guys showed me the setup with the boys out there playing that Youngblood. You know what I'm saying? But continue, Sal. What's your thing?
So, again, like the gameplay is very much Wolfenstein. Like everything, if you played the past Wolfensteins, this new generation Wolfenstein, it's largely the same. What they've changed though now is that enemies have levels, as you do as well.
Okay.
So now you have to level up. So you have to pay attention to the number above that enemy's head. And
that's the destiny leveling.
That's the destiny that I'm not feeling. Because the thing about it is, Wolfenstein has always been about, like, if you face a powerful enemy, you will be there for a while trying to kill him, trying to figure out how to kill him. But it's never been about, it's never given you clues as to what you really need to do to beat them. Whereas now with this leveling up, there's a little icon next to the enemy. It's telling you what they're weak against, right? So now it becomes that game of like, it becomes kind of a game
like Destiny where you got the fire to beat this and that.
Exactly. And it's shield. Like, in a Wolfenstein game that's should be mostly story based, it doesn't fit. Yeah, it doesn't really fit to me. So I don't like that aspect of it. I really hope that in Wolfenstein 3 this is not part of it. This is a side story. So
I feel like that's one of the issues with developers that I was saying earlier. Is instead of building on the foundation that made their franchise great, they try to branch out and make it different.
And make it into something that it's not.
All right. And to the game's defense, I haven't played it yet, and I understand exactly what you're saying. I know in a fast-paced Twitch game of that nature, you want to be able to keep moving and don't slow down. My question to you is, does it slow down that you have to decipher what the shielding is, and does it take away from the pace of the game?
It does, because the thing about it is once you start grinding at certain enemies, like you run into an enemy that's too high for you, and then you got to run around trying to level up, right? Man. So in terms of the pacing of the story, they do it in such a way that by the time you get to certain people, you're obviously going to be at a high enough level to beat them. But it becomes less about paying attention to the fight than paying attention to the numbers. And paying attention to what you're using that is causing, because they have like one level of like kind of like armor that you have to sort of break down before you, like they have like a barrier level that you have to break down before you're actually able to take away health from the enemies. So it's that sort of play that sort of slows everything down, because that's not what Wolfenstein is. So again, I hope they don't do it in Wolfenstein 3. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, I think they was doing this to test the feedback of it, because it's a side story and not the main continuum. So if it's a side story, they can get away with a little bit of play
Right.
See how the masses accept it or reject it.
So one thing that I did like, and you're right about that. I think that's what it is. And they've always done that. Their side stories have never been as
Watch them listen to like the 15 people on Twitter and put that in 3.
Be like, yeah, this is great. It's fantastic.
Everyone loves it.
So one thing that I did like about what they did with this one is that the environments that you're in Paris, and you're in 3 different particular sectors in Paris. They're much wider, and there are a lot more ways to navigate it, right? I think Wolfenstein has always played a little bit kind of like a Metroidvania, where there's different ways to get through the level, and it's never been something that's like, oh, this is locked off until you get an upgrade, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's never been that, but you've always had different options when it comes to engaging people in combat. So now the combat areas are much larger, and they give you more options. So that's something that I do enjoy. I do hope they put in Wolfenstein 3, where it's like it gives you a lot more options in terms of how you engage the enemies. And usually at the end of the day, even if you want to engage somebody stealthily, it usually turns into a firefight anyway at some point, right? It's very rare you're gonna be able to stealth your way through an entire level. So that said, like, it feels like Wolfenstein, those other things like I was talking about with the upgrades. Oh, there's also weapon upgrades too. So the thing about the weapon upgrades is like they're focused on like capacity, they're focused on accuracy, and then they're focused on power. So there's 3 different like what they call like manufacturers that give you upgrades in each of those 3 different aspects. Now the thing about it is like, I have to see how many weapons are in the game, but Wolfenstein has always been about the coolness of the weapons too.
Absolutely.
So when you start upgrading different weapons just to be stronger, again, that goes to the sort of the looter shooter aspect of it, where you're upgrading these
the Destiny slander. The slander's coming in hot.
Hey man,
hey man, maybe they need some of that Destiny and that Wolfenstein to make it pop. Okay,
no, I'm sorry, not in my Wolfenstein. So anyway, so that I want to see how many actual weapons are in the game. You know, because if there are less weapons in order for this upgrading stuff to be more meaningful, I'm gonna be tight. But beyond that, it plays like Wolfenstein. It's fun. There's a lot less story beats too. There's major story beats, but they really are focusing on the combat and the leveling up and stuff like that. So again, there's stuff about it I like, stuff about it I don't like it. Yeah.
Let me jump in real quick before when you finish. I'm sorry.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, look, I ain't cop because like
you didn't buy it on that Switch?
Nah, not doing that Vaseline version.
That experiment is over. I'm not doing that.
You ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? But and plus I had Fire Emblem, so I was good. But like here's the thing, like I couldn't justify it because like I'm at what is the last one? Was it New Colossus? What was the last one that came? Like I'm literally at the end. Like I was supposed to finish that a minute ago, and I never got back to it. Like I really did. So I couldn't even justify that. I didn't even beat it, and then this is supposed to be the joint with his daughters. But I gotta shout out Lord Jez Gordon, y'all. Did y'all see his tweets?
No.
He said it started out strong, but then Wolfenstein, but then you realize it's the worst parts of Wolfenstein 2. Copy paste side missions in existing areas with boring objectives turned into a whole game. So when I saw that,
Youngblood he's talking about,
he's going in on Youngblood. So I was just like, I don't know. And then you talking about, I'll be honest, yes, I'm a Destiny fan, but I don't know how I feel about numbers over the dude's head. Like if I'm want to sneak, one thing about Wolfenstein that was dope. Get your little sneak on, your stealth on, your merc, you kill the captain dude, whatever, you get the code. And like, if you're telling me I'm not ready to face a certain dude, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be real. Like that, I was supposed to be able to do what I want. Go ahead.
My I want to kill everything thing always takes like every time someone says you need to be this tall, come in this ride. I'm like, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I jump over the fence to the left and still kill that dude.
Like with looter shooter, okay, but with this has never been that. So I don't understand why the need for that.
I think it's because it's this side game. And they just trying out new things. I mean, we get on developers for not trying new things and,
true,
and continuing to do the same old thing.
But I also do think there is some pressure to make the game replayable. And
who doesn't want the game replayable? Like who doesn't want somebody to continue to play the game? Shout out to Breakfast with Boom. Shout out to Boom. I was on his show and on Friday in the morning, and we talked about the reason why they weren't showing the campaign Gears of War 5. And the narrative is esports and continuing playing these games.
Yeah,
that's gonna generate revenue. That's gonna push forward. So you want to build up as much replay value in your game as possible. We are dinosaurs now. That campaign stuff, we can do it, but once we finish it, like Cognito said, I want to finish it so I can put it to the side.
right.
And never go back to it again. So if they can build some aspect into the game that can allow you to keep coming back, I think that's a good thing, because don't we ultimately want ultimate value from our games and our purchases?
Yeah, you're right in that regard. The problem is that with Youngblood, it feels like it's shoehorned in.
Right.
It feels like it's something that, not that they added last minute, I'm sure they planned for this from the beginning, but it's something that they haven't done before. And then they're adding it to a franchise that has traditionally not had it. So you're going to get pushback on that as it is.
Right.
So, and then people, just like you said, it's a side story. I think that's why people are letting it slide, and it's getting the reviews it's getting, but it's not getting the outrage that it's getting. Because I tell you this, if Wolfenstein 3 drops and it's this, the outrage is going to be.
But you notice I feel they didn't really market this joint either.
No,
like,
I didn't know it came.
I didn't even. A lot of people, mad people was like, "Yo, it's coming out this week. How come I ain't hear nothing about it?" Like, but that's been kind of weird with the marketing of this one, man. But no, I just want to. I know Addict's got to go soon, so I want to kind of get him speed along with his joint, if you don't mind. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, Addict, bro. So we gonna talk about some crunch, man. What's going on, man?
Oh, we talking about Naughty Dog. So I'm sure a lot of you remember the outrage that Rockstar got for crunching their employees. I don't even remember how it was, like 15-hour days or something like that. Rockstar did.
Yeah, something like that.
Whoa. Let me tell you what I heard. It looks like Rockstar over there on the border of just having slavery going on over there.
Man.
They're clear. They're supposedly running people 24-hour days sometimes.
IOP do not endorse
disclaimer
to depict somebody's work conditions that they're
So apparently, it's rumored that they've been working certain days and certain people have been working 24-hour shifts. Like, obviously, you have a lot of people. First off, I don't think that something like that is even feasible. If someone's working 24-hour shifts, their whole management needs to be fired.
Yeah, what good are they to you at that point? Like, what good is somebody who has had no sleep?
Work you to the bone, baby, to the bone. I want nothing but gristle.
King, I could just see King right now. They're like, I gotta go see my family. You can face trap them. You got 5 minutes off.
I want to attack this phase first, because we talked about this on Breakfast with Boom again.
Yes, let's get it.
All right. I have no sympathy for you, brother. I'm gonna tell you this right now, because at no point in time did they say they were not getting paid. Now, again, I cannot cry for you having a job. I cannot cry for you picking that job. I cannot cry for you working that job. I cannot cry for you if you're getting paid. Now, maybe some people say they're not getting paid a fair wage. Get better education. All right. So at no point in time, because I'm pretty sure the CEO ain't working 24-hour shifts. All right. So it's boiling down to your level of education. It's boiling down to you accepting this job and therefore complaining afterwards because you're working 24 hours. The game is going to get out. Maybe you can quit.
If you work a little bit, that's one thing. But we talking 24-hour shifts.
What would you do at it?
What do you mean? What I do? Like, if I was in that situation?
If your boss came to you and told you today you're working till tomorrow.
Look, at the end of the day, look, there's a couple scenarios you can go. You can quit, which someone in an established career that's been working in that industry for 15 years, that's not an option. Because if you quit, you're not going anywhere else because you quit. Like in this industry, small. You only probably got probably got like good, well-paying things. You might have a couple hundred job descriptions that you could possibly apply for. And we're not even talking about if you want to just up and move your family to another state, another country.
Yeah.
Like,
they got
like
at the gonads, right?
At the end of the day, it's like, look, like we need to stop blaming the people that are doing it and start blaming the managers that are poorly doing time to have to do 124-hour crunch time.
In the past, I think I've agreed with King on this, where it's like I'm not crying for you when this is what you picked, and I would have agreed with that. But since then, there've been a few different exposés coming out about the details about this stuff. And what bothers me is like what King said. King, you said improve your education, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times these guys right out of college have a lot of education. They obviously don't have the experience, right? So they go into these companies as contractors. And they have the expertise,
right? But they don't have the experience. I'm glad you brought that up.
On the job, and so the thing about it is, so the education
some people
is there.
want that experience even more than they want that.
And the thing about it is, if you somebody whose dream has been to work in gaming, right? You're gonna bend over backwards to stay there, because if the question is,
King, like I want to just say, like, it's one thing to come and be like, look, like we got a crunch time, like we got to get this part of this game done by next week so they can start their part. And you know, people come together, they do the 16 to 24 hours for maybe a day a week that one time. And then they move on, but this is happening over and over again. Where it's consistent.
We got to get Philly. We got to get Philly Eagle.
I'm going to answer it.
No doubt.
This is why I said this.
Shout out to our brother Philly Eagle with the $10 super chat. To King's point, many of those devs are in no competition contracts. They can't seek employment elsewhere while still working. Because of that, many are locked in because they can't afford to be without work.
Right. Now, Philly, this is what I'm talking about.
Now, what? No, do you have to say you're on to something? I want to hear that from you, right?
You're on to something, Philly.
There we go.
This is what I'm talking about. Now, this is what I want: intelligent chat conversation. And what you're saying is true.
He wants intelligent chat conversation. That's in color.
Fantastic. Do it. When I worked for a glass company, an auto glass company, I signed a non-compete clause. Now, I could not open up a glass business within 3 years of not working there. I could not work for another glass company because I had trade secrets and knowledge on behind the background. And I was an independent contractor. At no point in time was I paid exactly what I felt I was worth. At no point in time did I feel, because I understand what you're saying. Once they quit, they are locked out. You can't work for somebody else. What are they going to do? Work at a fast food restaurant with this level of education? Like Sovereign said, yeah, they have the education, but they got to grind their teeth to get in there. And this is a bad machine that's taking people and grinding them to dust, making them sour, and pushing them to the side. Now, maybe the strong survive and push on and get to the next game and hope for better work conditions.
Right? Problem is that the strong survive under those conditions and they become acclimated to operating in those conditions. Exactly. They don't survive and say, no, once we get to the top, we're going to change this. They just continue. They just do it to the next person.
A vicious cycle. Yes.
Shout out to Mega 03000. Kids out of college don't understand how hard they work. They strolling at any time with Starbucks thinking it's sweet. Nah, get your butt to work. Shout out to Mega for being petty. No doubt. But yeah, guess all you were saying.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just that thing. Like, you do have to be taught a certain work ethic. Obviously, the game industry has always been this way. The problem is that, to me, you're killing off half of the people that could be future, top devs by introducing them to this cycle from the very beginning that doesn't appreciate what they are putting into it. And then another thing that gets me about game development, again, I don't know anything about game development, but these big games, especially AAA games, talk about Naughty Dog. These games take 5, 6, 7 years to make. It's baffling to me. Like I said, I don't know the process, but it's baffling to me that you have to crunch to finish a game with that much time given to make the game. Like, what do you crunch 24 hours for a game that's taking you 7-8 years to make? It's crazy to me.
What do you guys say, to the counterpoint that, these guys know what they signed up for, and that comes with the territory, and there should be no complaining, because
that was
it's deflecting from, it's deflecting from the fact that the territory is messed up.
No, my official stance on the fact is, one, you're never going to hear me complain about work that I chose to do. Right. But again, at the same time, and I gave you my scenario where I was in a situation where that same exact thing was perpetrated upon myself. Now, in saying this, you always have control, right? Now, maybe you may not like the result of your answer for what you're about to do next, but at no point in time are you out of control. You're always in control. Now, remember, there's a cause and effect for everything, right? And I don't think that it's fair. Life is not about being fair. Okay, so now that they're learning this, and what Sovereign says is, when you are in position, change it, because they're not going to be unionized. That's not going to happen. All right, because they get a finite amount of money, and they can only hire independent contractors to work with a non-compete clause that locks them in. That's how they grab you by the gonads and force you to do their bidding, basically.
Right. But let me bring something into the thing. And I know Sav mentioned contractors. Shout out to Brap. I was on Brap. He had a rant this Saturday. We kind of touched this real briefly. I guess for me, I understand what you guys are saying, but the contractor thing is a little different to me, because the way I look at it, Sav, you kind of alluded to this, which is like when I used to do contract work in IT, right? The thought process is, look, I got you just got your degree or whatever it is. You just got out, you're trying to get in the game, and they like, yo, you got, the piece of paper, but you ain't got the experience. So we ain't hiring you, right? So you go through this process of trying to get on, and everybody's like, yeah, you qualified, but you ain't got no experience. So it's like, yo, how do I get experience, right? So then, this is where the contract thing comes in, where it's like, look, we ain't giving you no bennies, but you're going to work at company A. It's a big reputable company. You're going to be doing this. You're going to grind out for whatever. So the thought process for a lot of contractors is that, look, I'm doing this to try to get on, right? If I do this and I impress them, then maybe I get the hope of a full-time position with this company that I really want, with this industry that's my quote unquote dream,
and get
experience. So that's why a lot of people kind of subject themselves to things that, you know what I'm saying? Because their whole thing is, no one else is giving me a shot. Then you got the aspect of, okay, and I hear your point, King, about control, and you are right. Everyone has the right to say, you know what, this ain't it. Yeah, they do, and I get that part. But again, to Addict's point, which is like, yo, if I storm out, get fired or whatever, because the industry is so small and everyone knows everyone, whatever, there's a strong chance that they be like, yo, Cog, he left during Last of Us's crunch. When you know how they be like, let me call your past employer. He was the dude, that guy. We're trying to give Joel an ending, and he left during the ending sequence.
He's the reason Joe didn't have a beard. Don't hire him.
You know what I'm saying? He's the reason. Remember when Mass Effect 3 had the bad ending? That's the guy we wanted him to put in the time for the ending sequence, and he had to bounce.
No,
I'm just joking.
And
it's the truth. And that kind of is a stigma, you know what I'm saying? And because it's so small, again, it's a tough one, man, because I get what y'all saying. And I guess in normal industries, I guess when you have more options, more opportunities, I'm with y'all. Yo, if they doing you dirty, but for some people, this they dream. That's all they want to do. You know what I mean?
Some people do. And what I've seen more of being getting a chance to go to PAX. Some people take their destiny into their own hands and they make their own games. I've seen 2-man teams make a game.
Oh, no doubt. We're going to show examples of that now in the future.
Yes. I've seen a brother team get together with
husband and wife team.
Shout out to Decoy Games.
Shout out to Decoy. Exactly. Shout out to Two-Time. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of times, these conditions force somebody with that drive and that ability just to push forward and to change their circumstance in such a dramatic way. And I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying that it's fair, because it's not fair. But what I am saying is this: you have choice. Don't give up your choice.
Fair enough. Shout out to 108. He will be Mark Jackson in Black Ball Fat.
Yes.
No doubt. And last question, real quick, before we move on to the last topic with Phil Diamond, is that in reference to, I wanted to ask y'all this: do y'all think, like, with this whole crunch culture thing that's coming out, and obviously we getting a lot of exposés, getting the Schreiers and all these world, do this. Do you think because of Naughty Dogs or certain companies cachet, right? There's certain companies that they are beloved because of classic franchises, whether it be Last of Us, whether it be Uncharted, whatever it may be, right? Do you feel like some companies are like a little bit more shielded because the quality of the studio they game is so good that people like, regardless to what, I'm riding that. Oh well, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing. What do you think?
Yeah.
I said Nintendo's one of those companies.
Yo,
I knew it was good, Cove.
Shots from the back.
He's in the closet. He hit the mic from across the room. Nintendo.
No, I don't have my headset in, so I can't.
He moving around.
Just so you know, Miyamoto be slave driving too.
Oh my Lord.
I believe that certain cachets companies, some of these elite companies use that. And I'm not saying that they don't, but doesn't that look good on your resume that you worked on?
Oh, absolutely.
Doesn't that look great on your resume? So it's a double-edged sword. You want that on your resume, but how bad are you willing to work for it? And I know 24 hours a day may sound crazy. That might be one day. Like, yo, buddy, this guy's not coming in. I need you to work his shift. Are you able to do it? I can give you a 2-hour break period. You can go crash out over here real quick. We can give you that lunch piece, but we need you right back into the fold. Can you do it?
One thing, for all we know, they could be getting like 5-6 hours of sleep between crunches too. So
I mean,
I know a Dish actually has a room that you could sleep if you get mandated, because sometimes you'll get stuck at Dish and you'll have to manage.
But they listen to the joints that people are saying that there's sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they were really provided with dinner for the OT crunch. A lot of them are saying that they were barely paid above minimum wage. Some of them 60 to 80 hours works week. Some of these report again. These are off the record. In fairness, you know what I'm saying. These
are really treated like stepchildren, man.
Yeah.
The one thing they had like a yoga session for like the devs, and they explicitly said the contractors are not allowed.
They're not. I don't. It's okay. People, you have to understand something, right? When you are an independent contractor, you are not under the blanket or the umbrella of the company. All right, you don't have medical, you don't have a lot of things that are going with the fact of being a full-time employee. And a lot of these guys that's in this crunch want to be that full-time employee. Right. A lot of these guys want to impress you to become that full-time employee. Are they taking advantage of you? Yes. Now I can give you for instance, Brian, remember that time when I was working in sanitation in Albert Einstein, and they moved me up to the Animal Institute. Right. And they put me on a per diem situation. It was me and another guy, and we had to impress these guys to get the job. Well, what happened is at the end of that function, even though I was the lead guy, the other guy got picked. Right. So I went right back down to housekeeping. And then 2 weeks later, they said they were impressed with me. They didn't realize that I was actually the one that was doing everything. And they moved me up to Animal Institute. Right. At that period of time, we were doing some ungodly stuff. Like they were sending us inside room to sanitize and clean rooms, scrub ceilings, corners,
stuff that wasn't in the job description.
Right. And I wasn't whatchamacallit on salary or with the company. I was an independent contractor basically. But I worked hard and I got the job. I'm not telling you and anybody else that is under a crunch, that is under poor work conditions, to tough it out. I'm telling you to do the best that you can with what you got. If you cannot do it, let me tell you something. Mental breakdowns and stuff that we talked about earlier is because people don't know their own limits. Know your limit. If somebody's pushing you to that limit, take a time out.
No, I mean, Chief made a good point though. What about the whole concept of Stockholm syndrome? People getting beat into their mind that this is the norm.
And that's the thing is, because the thing is, if you come into the industry as a contractor and you say, okay, I have to do X, Y, Z to be able to get ahead and for people to see me and to hopefully get a full-time position, right? Let's say you do all that, you sparkle, you work 24-hour shifts, you come in, you get a great job, and then it's still the same. and you have a great paying job. You're in the in crowd now. You're in the boys club now, and the culture is still the same. And rather than say, "Hey, I suffered through this," rather than say, "I suffered through this and it wasn't right. Let me see what I can do to change it." Now that I'm in a position to be able to do that, people's thinking is, "Well, if I did it, that's what I did. You have to do the same thing." And that sort of stuff is just that snowball effect of you just keep teaching the bad teachings. You know, and it's that, and that's the thing. And one thing we haven't touched on that's very real is that a lot of these dev studios do, I mean, they have bosses they have to speak to. They have publishers that are really the ones that really sort of, you know, with certain deadlines, with certain, this has to be out in Q1, Q2, whatever the case may be. When it comes to money, once the money situation dictates how and when the game has to come out, then forget about it. Then even the thought of within the studio trying to fix this problem, that goes out the window as well, because now you have, you know, investors to think about. You have all this other stuff that influences the game.
But let me ask you this, Saul, because you really hitting some things. I know we got to move on, but what do you think with all this investigative stuff and this stuff coming out and people, you know, saying things off record, whatever, do you think this will actually give the drive to eventually unionize the gaming industry?
Well, I think in the long term, I think it'll start definitely moving the wheels. I forgot what show
King shaking his head. King shaking his head.
Because I'm thinking about I think it was Waypoint. I might be wrong about this. I think it was Waypoint though, or maybe even Kind of Funny, where they had a guy on who's worked in the game industry for quite some time. I forgot what dev he works for, but he's actively like one of the head people that's sort of trying to unionize people across the games industry. So it's like it's a big movement with a few people at the helm of this, trying to get people on the same page in terms of unionization. I don't know if they're talking about unionization across the board or maybe lower level employees, but the conversation is happening, and it's happening. The problem with the game industry is, right, that it's all over the place, right? It's not centralized anywhere. So it's very difficult to get people on board.
And so, like Philly Eagle said, like they can only unionize if the employer agrees to the terms.
Exactly. But you need that pressure. And the only way you're going to get pressure is with numbers. And the problem has been getting the numbers because of how separated everyone is. So I think this dude, I forget his name, but his focus is trying to go from place to place, trying to get as many people on board so that they actually have numbers behind what they're talking about. And once you have the numbers and you have people on the same page, then you can start moving the needle.
Shout out real quick. Thanks for contacting Microsoft support for Xbox. I'm following up on your refund request. At your request, the order placed on July 25th, 2019 has been refunded. Thank you, Microsoft.
Your personal refund.
$14.99.
This is a super chat. This man out here, you out.
Thank you, Microsoft, for giving me back my buck. I did not choose that game. Did not want that game.
You definitely need to check your Game Pass
Ultimate subscription and make sure it's upgraded and canceled the old one. That really sounds like it. We got to move on because we can go on for a long time. But since King segued so perfectly into his subject, big Lord Phil Dominus, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I got to explain something to you. Right? I want you to set it up real quick, and then I got to explain something that happened recently.
Okay.
In light of this whole interview.
Yeah, so pretty much Phil Dominus with a little, you know, now say impromptu, but I didn't hear about it, and it surprised us. Fortune magazine, right? And yeah, Phil Spencer on Fortune magazine, and he dropped some gems. It was about a 40 to 50-minute interview talking about Xbox profitability, a whole bunch of subjects. So I sent the information out to the Lords, and King took it by the reins. So Lord King, man, what did you feel about Phil Dominus, Xbox only begotten son's recent Fortune interview?
Okay, so we all know when we came back from E3, I said Phil became Phil political. And on reflecting on everything, and I watched the show a couple of times over, and I listened to various opinions, and I took my emotions out of it.
Okay,
all right, and I said, okay, No, he's still Phil Dominus. The situation is exactly what it is, and he did what's best. Now, what I liked about this interview that is up on Fortune Magazine, you can go to the website, you can check it out. They had a hostile interviewer interviewing. And let me know, you know why?
I like the fact he challenged them. I like that.
No, he challenged him. Like the level of questioning already showed you what was he leaning to, what was going on, what type of clickbait stuff he was doing. And in light of this new interview, I want to say that in the Roman days, when Caesar or Marcus Aurelius, they conquered another land, they got another title to their name. So Phil Dominus is no longer Phil Dominus.
Oh, wow. What is he now?
His name is Phil Dominus Maximus. Because the level of tact that he used and the versatility that he displayed in this interview, he broke down as to why he told you unapologetically, yo, we were bad and we will do better. He sat in front of you, answered the hard questions that not one head of a company or head of a division will do, because I don't think you're gonna have Bowser taking these questions. It wasn't softball questions.
They were hardball questions, especially with Xbox profitability.
He went at Phil without blinking. Dominus Maximus took everything that he slung at him, deflected it, broke it down, and showed you why in this industry. He said, you guys are acting like we are at each other's throats. We are friends. I congratulated Phil when he worked here. But let me tell you something about the reason why Xbox only begotten son is who he is. He told you these dudes ain't the competition. That dude's the competition. Work with these dudes. We put games out on their platform. We put games out on our platform.
You talking about reference to the Minecraft shot? He said we didn't know on Sony like we do. I peeped that.
And let me tell you how he minimized Stadia.
How he did it.
Phil used to work here.
Oh, he said he shot the shot. He said that was my son.
Phil, how he minimized it is this, right?
What do you say? What do you say about Phil?
Even more than that, because he shot out. He said Phil and I are great friends. We talked before the Stadia launch, but how
this was the diss track? Hold on.
Yeah, it wasn't a diss track, but how he minimized Stadia was this. He says Stadia is trying to get you. Is trying to tell you, leave that place where you play. Come here to play. That's not what we're telling you. We're telling you keep playing there. We love you playing there. You can play here as well.
I peeped this part.
So right there, he's saying we're giving you an option in addition to what you have already.
Right.
They're trying to get you to change your entire way of playing.
Right.
And at first he insinuated like it's just different. And then he threw that in. He compared it to what they're doing. And at that point, it wasn't different anymore. It's obvious that ours is better. Because you can't, once you're telling me, okay, exclude something to play here, or just add to what you already have, and you have more options to play here. Nobody in their right mind is gonna be like, I'm gonna go with the exclusionary thing. I'm not gonna. And he did it so tactfully. I think when it comes to Barry Sanders your way around interviews and stuff like that, like, him and Reggie,
his juke button was on.
Yeah, his juke button was on fleek. Him and Reggie. Reggie's very good at doing the same thing, too, getting around stuff. I think that to me,
Reggie has been X'd out.
Yeah, and Reggie decided to walk away.
But let me ask y'all this. Like, shout out to Christopher Hall for being petty. He's like Lord Phil Fraudimus Maximus. He's been very petty.
Listen, I can't see it because it's not in color. Anyway.
I mean, look, I got some standouts from this joint. I did peep that joint solve where he talked about, his Stadia joint, you know what I'm saying? And how, like, how their approach is different. I mean, these are the things I got. These are the keys I got from it. He talked about the xCloud joint. I love what he said in reference to them looking at all the developers' locations around the world, right? And placing the xCloud data centers closer to them so they can actually test that out through the API. All that. That's fire. That's forward thinking, getting people to see that stuff. And, you know, it's built in the API, should be an easy transition. I like that. He talked about the competition, you know what I'm saying? And how, like King is saying, like, yo, he don't look at that as a competition thing because these guys are friends. You know what I'm saying? He looked at the friends relationship, and the key point he said to me was just like, I don't need an opposing studio to fail so it could be like Team Green. You know what I'm saying? Could win. That was some boss talk. I respect the way he's at with that. The Xbox profitability was a little shaky because the guy pressed him.
Did you hear him say that now the support that he has helps him move better? He said before, financially, they weren't being checked on.
Right.
He said now $10 billion is still money. It's not Microsoft company money, but they're talking about us in conversation that we can generate revenue. And to be that transparent, to tell you before that we weren't even being heard.
No, that's huge. That's huge.
It's huge. I was surprised though when he pressed him with that. Is Xbox profitable? He didn't come right back with, well, look at our services. Obviously, our services are on all these platforms.
Yeah, he didn't come back.
Obviously, he didn't come back with that, which is weird to me. I'm like, to me, that would have been the moment to say that. Bring up Xbox Game Pass Ultimate.
Fortune magazine, they're gonna have money talk. So the interviewer wanted to know, yo, at what year did it become? And he kind of was dancing. I'm not gonna say it's not making money. I'm just saying that he was pressed on that, and it was a little shaky, that part. He just said, I have to look at the numbers, and it's definitely profitable, though. It's definitely profitable, that kind of thing. So, some people going to look at that like, yo, fam, how you ain't got the numbers on that? You know what I'm saying? So,
and I'm going to look at it as, yo, fam, where's your CEO up here to take the same sling and arrows?
No doubt. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing was about the the game's not married to the device. We heard that already. You know what I'm saying? As far as that, he wants it to be multiple places. That's the key. The Stadia diss track was lit. I can't front. The bars he threw at Stadia, he's like, we are not locking you, trying to move you off a console. He said, go play here. xCloud is a choice. You know what I mean? Look, at the end of the day, the joint, he admitted, like King said, the issues they have. At this point, look, I'm going to defend him only because these are questions he's asked, right? So he's going to shoot his shot. He's going to say what he got to say. I'm just at the point, y'all, like, not that he shouldn't do interviews anymore. It's just like, I just want to see the game. I am tired of waiting, right? I am tired of, it's going to be lit on this, or, a couple years, watch what's going to do. Like, that's cool. I know your work. I know right now the long game, what it is. But until the long game gets here, which is the launch of the Scarlet and all that, I really don't want to hear about how ill it's going to be. I said, like, just shh and just do. And then when you got the bangers, everybody got to bend the knee. Right.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. That's all. That's where I'm at. But what you got?
Nah, that I watched the interview. I was highly upset. I was completely agitated at the line of questioning. And
why you going about
the level of total disrespect that I felt that Phil Dominus Maximus was shown. So
gluteus Phil gluteus back.
I don't know nothing about that, boss. But in watching it, I said, certain times the reason why you mess with certain people. When he said the head is aligned with the body and they're moving forward, and it wasn't like that in the past, because the interviewer even tried to press him on the past regime.
Yeah, I peeped that.
And he said, and I'm gonna tell you right now, old boy had bullet points. He had all the bullet points that is on the internet, that is on Twitter, that's on Facebook, that's in every chat that's ever been talked about on Reddit or anywhere else. He had every last sling of arrows, and he shot his shot completely at Phil. Did Phil walk away unscathed? No. But what a boss does is he sits there, answers the hard questions, becomes accountable, and tells you, I can't do anything about the past. But what's going forward and what's going to happen forward is you can hold me accountable to these words.
Right.
And he's going to show. I really have real faith in that because I don't see nobody else sitting there doing that.
Okay, I feel you. So basically what you said is like, yo, at the end of the day, like, yo, ain't no other executive being put through this, and he's willing to throw himself out in the fire as opposed to ducking it down.
And it didn't feel like it was so pre-canned. Like, again, because there were moments where he got kind of stuck a little bit.
Yeah, I was like,
and I was like, okay, because for me, what stuck out most was when he, the interviewer kind of brought out the fanboy stuff and about how and Phil deflected it saying like, I don't want to see anybody fail. What good does it do me? Right. And that's kind of our view here when we talk about the fanboyism stuff. Like we joke or whatever, we have our preferences, but at the end of the day, I would never want Nintendo to fail. I would never want any one of these companies to fail because in turn your product all of a sudden becomes worse by having one less competitor in the market. That's just a fact. So the fact that he kind of the way he attacked them was he's like, okay, you're giving me all this kumbaya stuff now, right? Everybody, you want everybody to do well, this, that, and the other. At the same time, your marketing doesn't always say that. Your marketing is your marketing, and we've seen it. Obviously we got some behind the scenes stuff from E3 with FanFest, some words that were said behind the scenes that were a little bit, attacking certain people that weren't there. So and it goes back to something we were talking about earlier in today's podcast about marketing from back in the day. Genesis does what Nintendo don't, and like stuff like that. Crash Bandicoot rolling up on Nintendo, and
the Nintendo Studios
megaphone.
Right?
So it's and they still do it today, not as directly as back in the day, but when they can take jabs at each other, they do it. And so he questioned him. He's like, well, okay, so if you're telling me that you guys are all together. But at the same time, you still have people who gravitate towards this other type of marketing that postulates you as better than the other platform or whatever. How is it that you can't? You have to pay attention to those people, because if you look at where Xbox One is this generation, it's largely in the position it is now, or it's largely taken so long to get to where it is now because of what happened at the start of the generation. That's facts. And that all came from, initial reactions to things you did negatively. So it's like, how do you, it's, and Phil tried to say, I try not to listen too much to social media. Like I hear stuff, but the stuff that's most important bubbles up to the top, and then everything else sort of is noise, right? And it's just, fanboy BS going back and forth. But I like the fact that he questioned them on that, because these companies, they're kind of hypocritical in that regard, right? Like we're all working together, and we're all going towards a goal. And I think actually that is what's happening. But at the same time, you do have to market you want your product to sell, right? You don't want to be, don't get my product sucks. Like you don't want it. So, but again, I like the fact that he brought that up, because it forces you to have to answer that question for all to see. Like, how do you really deal with this? Because you do have two faces. As a company, you do have two faces. It's just the facts.
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. It was very interesting interview. I definitely liked what I saw, and there was some key points in there. Like King said, he dealt with the hostility.
he dealt with it very well. He did
very well. So yeah, man, that's all I got. Let's get out of here. We're definitely running late. We got to get up out of here. But yeah, man, let's get this ILP poll popping with the critically acclaimed release of Fire Emblem Three Houses. It's Switch scheduled,
Switch-esque
and software lineup for the rest of the year. Do you think this will translate to Nintendo winning NPD hardware sales for the remainder of 2019? The choices are A, stop being gassed, Cog. PlayStation 4, Xbox will at least win 1 month. B, Switch train full steam ahead, coming in hot. No stopping it. Undefeated for remainder of 2019. Or C, I don't care. Switch JoyCon drift and terrible online service always keeps them in the bushes.
I need somebody else to start taking control of these polls.
That is the question. Those are the choices. Please rock the ILP vote when it goes up tomorrow. Lord Nintendo Guru, was an absolute pleasure in the realm. We got to get that brother back. Oh my God, stories. Oh, tremendous, man. Tremendous beacon of positivity out here in the community, doing what he do. We will definitely have it popping. So yeah, let's get up out of here. You know, we had to get to work. But Lord Sov, where can people find you? What do you have going on, sir?
Hopefully playing a little more Wolfenstein and definitely Fire Emblem the rest of the week. Hopefully my eye gets better, but I think I can put on my other contact lens by Thursday, so I'll have both eyes back.
No doubt, no doubt. That's what's up. No doubt. Lord King bringing the heat as always. Where can people find you? What you got going on, sir?
All right, well, this week we got a new statue going up. For those that didn't get a chance to see the saber tooth that's up behind you, you can go to lordsofgaming.net where you can actually check out the whole dimensions of the statue. You can get a little synopsis about him, and then you can go watch the video where I can give you an in-depth, because a lot of you confuse this character with Wolverine's nemesis, and I'm here to sadly break that news to you. He's not. Also, I was going to do combat talk with the king yesterday, because you had Tevin Farmer fighting his mandatory, and you also had Javante Tank Davis fighting his mandatory. Both fights was, you know, basically a wash. The only fight where it was an upset, it was Hunter got upset, Maurice Hunter, but I think Maurice Hooker got upset. And I knew he was going to get upset anyway, because he wasn't ready for that level of competition at this point in time in his career. So none of those fights was worthy of your time. But Chris Cyborg was on display, and she put on a master class in MMA yesterday. If you did not see it, please go up and check it out. I've always been in love with her fighting style. I always thought that she was, you know, the woman to be feared, but Nunes has showed me otherwise, sir.
Yes.
And it was a great night of fights.
Yeah, shout out to Max Holloway. Well,
Max Holloway, Felicia Spencer too for hanging in there with Chris Cyborg, and shout out to the old future Hall of Famer Frankie Edgar. Frankie, I mean, look, he availed himself well, but I mean, Max is just too big for him. Like,
what about Big Country though in that Bellator?
Oh, the senior circuit. I don't know about the senior circuit anymore.
Foxwoods League.
Who did he stretch out?
He got stretched out. Some big mountain man beat him down.
Shout out to Big Country for doing it up over there. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the belly.
That's got kicked, no doubt, man. Yeah, man. No doubt, you already know. Got that King of Statues up on, like I said, number 18 up on lordsofgaming.net. Check that out. The Last Word with Ebontis went up on Friday with the Red Queen, an absolutely fantastic positive guest, one of our best ever on The Last Word. She showed tremendous love. Please check that out. It's up on ILP. You already know. Roundtable Reviews is up there still. We're going to be doing more. We got more cooking to make that, ice that out, make that a little better. We're going to show y'all soon. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man, that's all I got in reference to that. Everybody enjoy your Sunday. We will catch y'all next week, and we out. Peace.